Furnace isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in your comfort zone fast with a service call for only $99. Get your furnace serviced. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, it's about time. Americans have waited for this for a long time. We saw the Russia collusion hoax, the complete compromise of the deep state. That was all under Comey's leadership. I believe because of all of those things that we now know, they used the intelligence apparatus of our federal government to perpetrate a fraud upon the American people, that the Trump campaign was colluding and conspiring with Russia. In my opinion, he should be charged with treason. But obviously the DOJ doesn't want to go that far. They found something that they can charge him with. He obviously lied to Congress because he knew either he's lying or McCabe is lying. And obviously they have evidence from either communications or something that it's a basis of this grand jury indictment. It is a long time coming where the American people want to see justice of all of the brokenness of our federal government.
So there you have, that's a Representative Stubbe who looks like he's in a commercial for beard oil or something. That man is looking like a man, that is for sure. You have Representative Stubbe talking about the Comey indictment. Now, my understanding is he hasn't been indicted yet, but we are probably pretty close to seeing that. And the discussion surrounding what's about to happen here is regarding his testimony in front of court, that he perjured himself. Fortunately, on this show, we have at 12:18, we have Hans von Spakovsky coming on to give us the lowdown on exactly what is happening here with James Comey. Is an indictment coming? How does this process work? How soon does it happen? These types of headlines come out, and then people get real hyped, real excited because you want to see orange jumpsuits and handcuffs, and then it's like months, sometimes years before any of that stuff materializes, if it ever even actually does. So Fox News reported yesterday the Justice Department is seeking to indict former FBI Director James Comey for perjury as the deadline to bring charges looms. The probe into Comey centers on whether he lied to Congress during his September 30th, 2020 testimony about his handling of the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. According to Fox News, under federal law, prosecutors have 5 years to bring charges. So let's go back to that date I just said, September 30th, 2020. Do the math, plus 5. It's September 25th. Oh, by the way, 3 months until Christmas. You can shop while we talk here. Under federal law, prosecutors have 5 years to bring a charge. With the 5-year mark occurring next Tuesday, the case is being handled by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Virginia. A source told Fox News DOJ officials are close to deciding whether to prosecute former FBI Director James Comey for allegedly lying to Congress in September 2020. There is a grand jury underway looking at the matter in Virginia. A decision could come any day. So we sit and we watch and we wait. People are going to say, Democrats, political Democrats, activists in the Democrat Party are going to go on and on about how this is political retribution, and they'll never say that he didn't lie under oath. That's the real trick here. When you're listening to people defend James Comey, ask yourself to pay close attention to what the Democrats say. Are they saying that he didn't commit the crime that is being alleged towards him? Are they defending his innocence? Or instead of pretending to have any interest in whether he's innocent or not, are they just trying to attack the people who are trying to potentially indict him on a crime that they believe he committed? Are they defending his innocence, or are they trying to allege a different crime as a diversion of sorts to the potential alleged crimes of James Comey? And I think that it's important in a time like this to really listen to the Democrats and listen to what they have to say.
I'm not sure that the president changed his mind. I think the president has been very consistent since
This is not the right
February.
clip. So I am overwhelmed at how much we can over and over and over again look to the Democrats to see exactly what they have to say on these issues. Fox News goes on to report here that President Donald Trump has criticized Comey for years over his handling of the investigation and other matters. Trump said in July about Comey and former CIA Director John Brennan, he said, I think they're very dishonest people. I think they're crooked as hell. And maybe they have a price to pay for that. Well, the question is, do they have a price to pay for a crime that was committed? Do they have a price to pay like Republicans had a price to pay? And as I was saying before I played the wrong clip, you listen to what the Democrats have to say when it comes to an alleged crime being committed. What's the most important thing? The Democrats are clear on this.
No one is above the law. No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are.
Our job is to follow the facts and the law without fear or favor.
The fact is, no one is above the law.
No one, not even the president, is above the law.
So does that mean not even Comey is above the law? Because he was kind of supposed to wield the law. You're the director of the FBI. You're basically the chief law enforcement officer. Is Comey above the law? Because if he's not, and if he perjured himself, according to the Democrats, he qualifies as someone. Therefore, he should be prosecuted. I don't think that they're going to take that same position on this issue. It's just a hunch that I have. I also think in the event that there is a trial here, discovery will be quite interesting. What ends up happening in that courtroom if the grand jury chooses to indict James Comey and suggest that he has committed the crimes that he's committed? When it goes to trial and James Comey, again, is under oath and has to speak to the truth of the matter of what actually went into the investigation, into Donald Trump, into his relationship with Russia, into understanding exactly what did take place. And while we're working to find out what did take place, did they contrive a story? Did they, isn't there maybe a little bit of a, I'm not going to say understanding because it's inexcusable, but if there's something that was swirling around and it was really nefarious and they looked into it, and in the moment, maybe the media went and ran with a story that wasn't completely accurate, and then they vetted it and then they corrected themselves. There are still people who think that Donald Trump has an inappropriate relationship with Russia, and it's all rooted in a lie that if these allegations are true towards James Comey, that he actively worked in collusion with the president of the United States then, Barack Obama, to nefariously smear Donald Trump to sabotage his presidency. Big allegations, provable. Doesn't that matter? Doesn't it matter that it's provable? There's no good faith here. There's no, like, in the moment we thought this, but then we found out it was that. And then we recovered. That didn't happen. In fact, the more that we got through the Russia collusion story, and the more it was proved to be something that was paid for as campaign research to try to take down an opponent by Hillary Clinton and her team. The whole basis for the Russia collusion story was to hurt him politically. It didn't have anything to do with truth, but it wasn't ever even supposed to matter nearly as much as it did because Donald Trump wasn't supposed to win. And then he won. Remember when Peter Strzok, who was he like the assistant deputy to the director or something like that in the FBI, and he's texting back and forth with the woman he was having a relationship of some kind with. She says, he's not going to be president, is he? And he writes back, we won't let him. Who the hell is Peter Strzok to say we won't? Who's we? And what do you mean by let him? What kind of gate do you keep in order to say something like that? What kind of power do you wield to think that you can do something like that? The corruption is right there in front of our eyes. And I'm going to tell you this right now, and I know that a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but I'm trying to be realistic here. I want to know the truth. I want sunlight on every dirty, cobwebby corner of the FBI, of the Justice Department. I want to know everything that occurred and who did it. And I want to know the truth so that the American people can hold the people who perpetrated this on a free country. I want that exposed in proof positive written text to be an undeniable part of history for the rest of my life. I want my kids to be able to understand what they did. to Donald Trump, because if you look at what they did to Donald Trump and then you look at what they did to Charlie Kirk, these things are connected. There is a consistent belief that is not permitted to be had or to be shared in this country right now. Let's insert the Biden administration right in the middle of it. Have you seen the stories here recently of YouTube now is going, hey, guess what? Conservatives, you guys can come back. You guys are welcome back on the platform. Got 2 words for you, and I can only say one of them. The kind of detriment that YouTube has put on the providers that go on their platform, the burden that they've put, truly, the income that has been lost. Where is the class action lawsuit? If they're admitting right now, if Google is admitting, if Alphabet is admitting right now, conservatives haven't really had a fair shake on the old YouTube, and we really would like to welcome you back. My bad. Come on back. We've muddled through it. We never got permanently kicked off. I think we probably got 5 or 6 strikes over the course of time. Why? Because we were a news show that was discussing COVID, and we didn't do it in the YouTube-approved ways. And we refused to bend to what YouTube was telling us we had to do, because I'm not here to serve YouTube. I'm here to serve you. There's the difference. And while other people went more aggressive to it, or likely had more people, maybe a bigger platform, maybe a bigger audience, maybe we're more inflammatory about it than I am, and I don't really pride myself on being an inflammatory person. I'm trying to keep the ship steady and focused on its target, on its destination. What about those people who've been knocked off YouTube and have lost years of being able to build an audience? Does that matter? They tried to shut Donald Trump out. They tried to shut Donald Trump up. They tried to kill Donald Trump. They tried to shut conservatives up, top to bottom. And I'm not talking about your neighbor who's a union Democrat who votes blue no matter who. I'm not talking about those Democrats. I'm talking about the people, not even necessarily the ones elected to power. I'm talking about the bureaucrats in the swamp who have the levers of power at their hand no matter who the American people choose, no matter what direction or plan that the American people choose. I'm talking about specific people when I say they. I said this earlier, maybe this week, maybe it was last week. We got to start defining who they is, because this big, broad they is a dangerous term. And I've consistently said on this show, when I'm talking about Democrats, I know a lot of people in my life that I love so incredibly dearly, and they are very Democrat. They don't agree with me on anything, but we still love each other. I call them my Thanksgiving table Democrats. If you're welcome at my Thanksgiving table and you vote differently than me, you're a good person. I love you. You love me. That relationship is more important than the politics. But there are people out there that are speaking for you, that are trying to include you and saying, you're either them or you're us. You're either they or you're we. And if those are people on the Republican side of the aisle, I'm going to call them out too, because I don't belong to the we that looks not like me. And if you don't believe me about that, look 2 shows ago when the Tylenol thing came out and listen to the entire way that I opened up my show, pretty much just talking to conservative talkers out there who are like, whatever Donald Trump says pregnant women should do is fine with me. And you've never carried a baby in your life. You've never sat in an OB office exam room in your life. You don't understand what is at stake here. You can't be invested in these things just so that the red team scores a point at the end of the day. And God bless us, everyone. The same thing goes for the Democrats. I'm pretty much in my mind prepared to never play another View clip, another Jimmy Kimmel clip, another AOC clip, another Jasmine, what's-her-face clip, Crockett, ever again on this show, because all it does is take a cup full of gasoline and throw it on a fire that we may not even already be able to put out. There are real things that need to be addressed in this country. And there are real people who are feeling a certain type of way right now because of the climate that we're in right now. And we're going to lose focus on all the things that matter for making this a better country for our children if we get all caught up in a slap fight with one another, trying to win a battle that, in my opinion, will result in losers, everyone. Our YouTube poll question for today, what's your current mood about the country? How are you feeling right now? Went to a Charlie Kirk memorial vigil last night at Edwardsville at the Madison County Courthouse. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Had a lot of conversations with you folks, and you were all telling me how you feel, and these are all things that I heard from people last night. So I'm curious, how do you feel right now about the mood of the country? Do you feel resolved, despair, hopeful, or unsettled? Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote and tell us which one you're feeling right now. Maybe the one that you were feeling right now isn't listed there and doesn't describe you as much as it could. Leave a comment. We'd love to have you. Hans von Spakovsky on James Comey next.
Pulling away from you. I give and you take, giving you take. Young blood, see you want me, body alive, and I'm just a dead man walking tonight. But you need it.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs with an S.com. I talked to you a lot about Home Shield Foundation Repair and how they can come to your home and level concrete that's become a trip hazard, a liability, a concern. Yes, an eyesore. They use polyjacking. It puts foam underneath the concrete, levels it out, makes it safe once again. No longer a headache, especially if you trip and fall and hit your head on the concrete because you didn't fix it. Other people, you might have experienced all of this rain that we just had come sweeping in after quite a long dry season. Do you know that Home Shield Foundation Repair also does basement waterproofing? And these are good people. Matt Hayes and his great team is a very tight-knit team, very good people. They've been working with him for a long time. Why? Because they do business right. They do business great. And they partner with people like us to give them people like you. They love their customers. Become one of them if it is up in your need right now. If you've noticed that you have a wet basement, maybe even it's not that bad. There's still time to get in there and get to it before the problem gets a lot worse. Why wouldn't you go with the best? Why wouldn't you go with Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repair? 314-227-9636. Call 314-227-9636. Choose HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hi, I'm Brad Keselowski, driver of the #2 Discount Tire Ford Mustang. Did you know one of the most important keys to success on the track and for safe driving on the road is having the right pressure in your tires? Properly inflated tires are essential to help you get the best gas mileage and keep you driving safely. Check your tire pressure at least once a month or stop by your local tire retailer for an air check.
A message from the U.S. Tire Manufacturers Association.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, I can't tell you what's going to happen because I don't know. You have very professional people headed up by the Attorney General, and Todd Blanche, and Lindsay Halligan, who's very smart, good lawyer, very good lawyer. They're going to make a determination. I'm not making that determination. I think I'd be allowed to get involved if I want, but I don't really choose to do so. I can only say that Comey's a bad person. He's a sick person. I think he's a sick guy, actually. He did terrible things at the FBI. But I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen.
So you had President Trump speaking today with Erdogan sitting next to him in the Oval Office. And, of course, the press is doing what they do and asking questions. And you've got him talking about James Comey. And we're all asking ourselves the same question right now. Is there an indictment that's going to come down on James Comey? My understanding is a grand jury has been impaneled. But if I ever get any of this stuff wrong, I just talk to Hans von Spakovsky because he knows everything. He's a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, former FEC commissioner, and also host of Case in Point, the legal show for regular people. And I'm adding just like us. Hans, welcome back. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, I just told everyone you know everything. So can you tell us, can you give us the basics on what the situation is right now, legal situation that James Comey is facing?
What they're looking at, and this is apparently a grand jury in the Eastern District of Virginia. The reason they went across the river is because Comey actually lives in Virginia. Plus, no D.C. jury can be trusted. But anyway, what they're looking at is whether he perjured himself. Did he lie to Congress when he was being asked about his involvement in the Russia-Trump collusion hoax? And remember, when you testify in front of Congress, you're doing it under oath. And if you lie, you can be prosecuted for that, criminally prosecuted. It's up to the Justice Department to decide whether or not to do that. And time is short because it was September 30th, 5 years ago, that he testified. And there's a 5-year statute of limitations. So if they are going to indict him, they have got to do it by September 30th. And look, it's not unprecedented. People have been prosecuted for lying to Congress. It's just, I don't think it's ever happened to the head of the FBI.
I played a clip earlier, the Democrat after Democrat after Democrat saying no one is above the law. Of course, they weren't talking about a Democrat when they were saying that. So we have yet to believe how much they believe
Right.
the no one part of it, if it's maybe not no Republican is above the law. You know, you're a legal scholar. You're a legal expert. You're a former DOJ lawyer. Does James Comey deserve to be prosecuted?
Well, I actually think so. The answer to that is yes, given what we have discovered about how he basically conspired with Obama and Brennan and other folks at the top to basically manufacture a false claim against the Trump campaign and the folks who were in it when they knew that all the claims that were being made were basically opposition research created by the Clinton campaign. So they knew it was a hoax from the very beginning, and yet they went forward with it. And when he appeared before Congress, as I recall, he didn't inform them of any of that, and he basically made the claims that it was a legitimate operation, that they didn't have any evidence to indicate that it wasn't a legitimate investigation. So, I know if you look at all that, I think there's actually a pretty good claim that he did lie to Congress.
Okay, can we? Let's do a. I know how lawyers love hypotheticals. let's go back to, I guess 2016, when the whole Russia thing started. And like when it really mattered, because I think the original intention of the Russia stuff was to not allow Donald Trump to become the president. When he became the president, it became a whole different animal.
Right.
Can you tell me, can we have just a minor thought experiment right now? Can you tell me what James Comey should have done? Can you tell me, when presented with the opportunity at that fork in the road with what the bureaucrats had, in the Justice Department, even the politicians or the administration, the Barack Obama administration. At what point did they get the information that they got? Did they go, oh, we're taking this way, when they should have gone that way? What would have happened and when would have happened that they would have done the right thing?
Look, what started all of this were claims being made in the Steele dossier, right? This was the opposition research created by the Clinton administration, and the FBI, they should have been suspicious from the very moment that the only evidence being made against Trump is from the opposition candidate. And if you'll recall, one of the things that's come out since then is that the FBI couldn't confirm the legitimacy of a single claim
not one
being made in the Steele dossier. And when that happened, when agents are saying, well, we can't confirm any of this, that should have had Comey saying, well, there's no investigation going forward. And in fact, I think an investigation should have gone forward of the Clinton campaign for creating false information that they fed to the FBI in order to try to get an investigation going.
Let me highlight something you just said there. Did James Comey know that the Clinton campaign had fake, untrue information that they were trying to hang over Donald Trump's head? Did Comey know that before the election happened in 2016?
Apparently, the notes of the meeting that was held in the Obama White House where that Obama attended, it was clear they knew it was unverified opposition research, and they all basically agreed that they were going to use it to do two things. They wanted to distract before the election. They wanted to distract. This is why the Hillary Clinton approved this. They wanted to have a distraction from the fact that Hillary Clinton had been investigated and found to have improperly handled classified documentation, and then once she lost, to do everything they could to hamper the Trump administration from being able to get anything done. And they were very successful with that second objective.
Okay. So I'm gonna throw. I think I understand this, Hans, and this is why we have you on, because you help us regular people with our legal understanding, as is your podcast, Case in Point, the legal show for regular people. So let me make sure I get this straight. In 2016, James Comey got some information that could have been detrimental to the Trump administration, but they realized this is not verified. We cannot verify the accuracy of all of this inappropriate collusion relationship between Donald Trump and Russia. Comey and his people knew that it was unverified, but permitted it to go out into the world in a way that would hurt Donald Trump. Is that correct?
Yeah, and used it as a basis for starting a federal investigation.
Okay, so let me add to that real quick before you finish your point. In 2020, maybe even about the same time frame in the course of that year leading up to the campaign, there was some evidence that was brought to, would it have still been James Comey? Maybe it would have been somebody else in 2020, that was presented to the Justice Department, and it was Hunter Biden's laptop. And it would have been harmful to a campaign of somebody who was running right then for an election. And instead of releasing it and using it in a way that would hurt a campaign, they gathered up a bunch of people to vehemently deny the accuracy. They said they couldn't verify that it was true, and they suggested again that it was Russia doing the Hunter Biden laptop thing to try to help Donald Trump once again. And they were emphatically, deceitfully wrong in the way they addressed the Hunter Biden laptop in the same time frame in a different campaign year.
That is absolutely correct. And in fact, one of the people responsible for that was one of the top folks in the FBI field office in Washington, D.C., who not that long ago was finally forced to resign when all this started coming out, that he did everything he could to stamp out any possible investigation of the Hunter laptop, and they found all these basically social media posts and other things by him that were very anti-Trump. He was clearly driven by politics, not the objective interests of justice.
Hans, when you've been, and you and I have been having these conversations since I was on Saturdays, and God bless you for doing Saturday radio with me live. I always appreciate that. But when you've been watching Donald Trump, first candidate Donald Trump, then President Trump, then failed candidate President Trump, and now President Trump again. When you've been watching from the legal perspective, expertise that you have throughout this entire timeline, what has been put upon Donald Trump? And people are frustrated that Donald Trump's got a little chip on his shoulder. Isn't it kind of amazing that the only thing he has is a chip on his shoulder?
Oh, yeah, because look, when you take all of this together, including Jack Smith's totally bogus criminal indictments of the president for questioning the outcome of an election, which is not a criminal violation of law, you had everyone from James Comey to Barack Obama to the prior attorney general abusing their law enforcement powers, abusing our intelligence agencies in order to try to punish and put in jail Donald Trump when he had done absolutely nothing wrong.
Has there been a more persecuted by lawfare person in our country's history? I mean, it seems as though he hasn't had a day away from it.
Well, I don't think any presidential candidate or former or current president has ever had this kind of persecution go after him. And by the way, look, for anybody who says, oh, well, you know, the acting U.S. attorney in Virginia, Eric Siebert, well, he just resigned. He was about to be fired because he didn't think there was a case. Look, it turns out that Siebert, his father-in-law, is the godfather for one of Comey's kids. Siebert acted, to me, unethically in not immediately recusing himself from the case because of his family connection. So anybody who wants to point to that as saying, oh, well, there's no case against Comey, sorry. The problem there is Siebert acting unethically and not having recused himself from the case because of his family connections.
Oh, I've been so grateful to have you along this ride, Hans. Thank you for being with us here today. Do you think, last quick question, do you think Comey's going to get an indictment?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the statements he made are detailed enough to be able to show that he lied to Congress. I think he did, but whether the grand jury will agree, I don't know.
Well, we will wait and we will watch and we will have you back for sure. Hans, thanks for being with you. I told you, he knows everything. We appreciate you, Hans.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky is the Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, a DOJ lawyer and host of Case in Point, the legal show for regular people. Listen, subscribe, and like that. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. What's your current mood about the country? That's our YouTube poll question right now. We're asking you, how do you feel? Resolved, despair, hopeful, or unsettled? Let us know what you think on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
I feel there's nothing I can do. Yeah.
636-798-0023. That's the number to reach Point Pest Control to get rid of even that, one spider that you have in your house this fall. If there's one, you need Point. One was enough for me. Unfortunately, 3 Octobers ago, maybe it was, we saw, I got to go through my spider names. I try not to remember, a wolf spider in our basement. Oh, I don't even like to say the word. Like, in my mind, the spider has the head of a wolf. I think maybe it actually does. I never really stick around long enough to decide what they actually look like up close. Don't send me pictures. You'll just completely be out of my life. I'll send Point Pest Control after you because you'll be the new pest in my life. 636-798-0023. If you have spiders, ants, crickets, mice, You need a premier service plan with Point Pest Control. I am a subscriber. Happily, it's the best quarterly bill that I pay. If you mention Annie when you call them at 636-798-0023, you're going to save an extra 10% on the top of any specials they have currently going right now. I trust them in my house. It's the treatment that they put in there, safe for my dogs, safe for my kids, safe for me. Completely unsafe for the spiders, which is my favorite part. 636-798-0023. Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
When it comes to roofing, you can't go wrong with Corel Roofing. Mark Cox here. My friend Curtis Corel came out, looked at my roof, worked with my insurance adjuster. I got a new roof, new gutters, and even new screens on some of my windows. Curtis specializes in working with insurance companies. Even if you've been denied, he's often able to work with these insurance adjusters to find a way to get it covered. Here's something else Curtis tells me. With cooler weather coming, you need to be aware of something. Roofs cannot be installed if the temperature dips below 45 degrees. Some companies go ahead and do this anyway, but you're going to have problems down the road. So if you're concerned that your roof won't make it through the winter, call Curtis Corel today. Corel Roofing has crews with over 20 years of experience. They pay attention to detail, and they can work with all the luxury line roofing as well. Call Curtis at 314-222-9529. That's 222-9529. Or on Facebook at Corel Roofing Co.
Feel like your paycheck barely keeps up with your life? At the seminar, learn how real people are building passive income and retiring early using real estate. It's all happening live in St. Louis with Lifestyles Unlimited, September 27th and 28th. You'll leave with a step-by-step plan to change your future. Text radio to 88007. That's live in St. Louis, September 27th and 28th. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, press you for personal information, or demand instant payment. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Don't fall for it. Hang up, ignore them. Report this criminal activity to oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. What is your current mood about the country? We've got 4 options here. Resolved, despair, hopeful, or unsettled. Jump on Annie's YouTube page, youtube.com/@AnnieFry, F-R-E-Y. And there you'll see the live stream. Jump in the live stream, vote in the poll. Leave us a comment telling us why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and we might read that comment on air. The time is 12:41. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Fox News National, St. Louis Local, 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. So yesterday, grateful to Brad and Ryan and Ethan for promoting the Turning Point USA SIUE memorial that took place at Madison County Courthouse yesterday. I think we had, I was guessing 150 people. I had heard other people say 200 people out there at the courthouse. Brad, you and your wife were out there. What was your guess?
Yeah, I would say somewhere between that. 150 is a safe guess. Maybe 175 is what I probably would have said.
It was really cool because SIUE, but I'm an alum. I love SIUE. I hope my kids highly consider going to SIUE for college, if they choose to go to college. So I am not somebody who is anti-college on the whole. I just think you need to go into college with a plan instead of going into college thinking the plan will find you. If the plan finds you, that's God. That's not. Don't turn that over to the university system. I mean, because I'm like brewing in my brain, in my belly, this whole idea of how we fund the higher education system, and thinking we need to really reconsider the tax dollars, state and federal, but probably in the state of Illinois, I'm only going to be able to really hope for the federal ones to be changed. How we fund our higher institutions of learning. If you look at a college campus right now, what is the key focus? It used to be. And I'm going to even say I graduated college in 2006. I graduated high school in 2002, so fall 2002 was my first year in college. And and I went to SIUE. And when I went there, I didn't have any professors that were conservative leaning outwardly. Now, maybe they were and they didn't talk about it because they were just getting to the business of the matter. I did have professors who were heavily left-leaning and made it a part of their curriculum. And I also had professors, a speech communications professor at SIUE who was left-leaning for sure, but he encouraged discussion. And he would challenge people who had viewpoints that were different than his, and we had classroom discussions. I'm going to be honest. I don't really remember another class that I took at SIUE, and now, granted, that's like 20 years ago next year that I graduated college. Wow, that makes me feel old. I need to take a minute here. Take a sip of something. The one class that I look back and think, like, that class refined me was that speech communications class. And the professor was very liberal. But he wasn't liberal in a way that held it against me. His liberalism, and it was speech communication. So yeah, you're going to like talk a little bit more. You're going to have more discussions, more communication in a speech comm class. So the environment for that is a little bit different in a classroom like that. But I look back on that class and think, like, I left that class different than I started that class. And it really had a lot to do with the professor. And the professor was a liberal. And I think I used to work at Annie's Frozen Custard in Edwardsville. If you're ever in the Edwardsville area, go get Annie's and tell them Annie said hi. There's like 2 people there who would know who you're talking about. And that's because they're like the owners. Best custard in the St. Louis area. Am I going to get canceled now? When I was working there, that professor would come back and he remembered me. So sometimes I make an impression on people. It's like not always a good thing. But I think he remembered my passion, and we would have passionate discussions that brought other people in the classroom in it. And I was always I don't know. I always refer to myself as mouthy. I don't think that I was ever disrespectful, but I would speak up. I know this should come to a shock to absolutely nobody who's listening right now, especially my parents. My parents are like, yeah, she's mouthy. Mouthy was the right word. But I say all this specifically to highlight that the presence of liberals on college campus is not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. But the public presence of conservatives on college campus should also not be a bad thing. To be able to be outwardly conservative and to just exist as a conservative, isn't that kind of what we're trying to do right now? Especially in the wake of Charlie Kirk, like you're kind of thinking to yourself, good grief, do I want to go to the memorial and be out in favor of this guy who was shot because he thought something? Do I want to be assembled with a bunch of people who likely think that way? We're all asking ourselves these questions, and I think that the obvious answer is yes, but you just have this wall of hesitation that is in front of you. And I really think that the truth of the matter is that wall has always been there for you for as long as you can remember at this point. 20 years ago when I was in college, that wall existed for so many of my classmates. I cannot tell you how many classmates, people who I know professionally that I've worked with in radio or in communications or something, I did not know that we went to college together because I was super busy in college. I had 2 or 3 jobs. I coached sports in college. I was an RA at school, so I worked where I lived and took a full load of classes. I was just super busy, and I'm not like a super extroverted person. I didn't go party. I didn't go do those things. I had friends who were the life of the party. And if they're listening, they knew who I'm talking about. So I was like one step away, 1 degree away from the scene in college, and I just wasn't a part of it by choice. I never felt comfortable with it. But I have had so many people who come up to me post-college and be like, oh, Annie, I used to love it when you used to talk or push back on the teacher. And I had no idea that they were conservative. Some of them, I didn't even know they were awake in class, but apparently they were. And they would talk to me about being grateful that I would offer even the illusion that somebody would think differently than the professor would think. And, my professors in the whole, I got good grades in college. They helped educate me. I'm a successful graduate of SIUE and proud to say that. But I think that the radicalization of what kids are experiencing in the university system in those 20 years, I think it's exponential. That barrier that we're all experiencing right now of like, gosh, how I feel like I kind of need to be public, but boy, it seems like it's a risk. I think what Charlie Kirk's death did was it took the veil and uncovered that barrier that you see. It's been there the whole time, but now you're face to face with it and you're acknowledging that it's there and you're saying, I need to know what's on the other side of this, but I don't really know what the risks are. Socially, physically, professionally, mentally. That barrier has been there for a long time. If you think conservatively, if you want to go a step further and identify yourself as a Republican, which is not a way of thinking, that's a way of voting. If you're that person, you've been appeased for a long time to just, oh, that's just me. I don't need to talk about my beliefs. Now you're wondering if maybe you should have been talking about them all along, and you're asking yourself, what's the risk to do so? And guess what? I don't have an answer for you. I wish I did. I'm asking myself the same questions. Go vote in the poll. Tell us how you're feeling about the country right now. Let's get Ethan in here for Wiggins America next. I'm finding ways to articulate the feeling I'm going. All right, I want you to call Stewie. Stewart's American Mortgage. He's a guy who can get you a mortgage, a refinance on a mortgage, a brand new mortgage on a brand new, beautiful home, building a home. If you are looking to purchase a new home, if you're looking to get a better rate on your home, if you're looking to tap into equity on your current home and you're not looking to move, but equity's gone through the roof and you need to improve, expand, fix, pay off debt, and you want to do a cash out refinance, you could do all of these with a bagel loan. But if you want the bagel loan, which is a mortgage that comes with $0 in closing costs, you need to go to Stewie. Stewart's American Mortgage is the only place where you can get a bagel loan. So if you call somebody else and you're like, I'd like one of those bagel loans that Miss Annie keeps talking about, they're going to say, we don't have those. They might offer you something else, but not the bagel loan. The one that comes with $0 in closing costs, you call 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Talk to him. Tell him Annie sent you. And tell him what you're trying to do. He will set you up with the best possible circumstances for your particular situation. You'll be another happy customer like I was using the bagel loan. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
Sunday, the Chiefs are back on 97.1 FM Talk. Tune in for the game at 3:25 with pregame coverage starting at 2. 97.1 FM Talk this Sunday with the Chiefs. Game time 3:25.
If your kitchen's not even functional and you can't stand the look of your bathroom, stop just living around the problem. Let Lakeside Renovation and Design help you love your home again. From spa-like bathrooms to these beautiful, functional, custom kitchens to a finished basement, their in-house team over there at Lakeside, they're going to help bring any vision you have to life. They're going to walk you through every step of the process, the planning, the permits, all the things we don't like to do. They take care of it. You just have to dream. And they have financing options like 0 payments, 0% interest for 24 months. Schedule your free consultation today. It's lakesiderd.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. People with disabilities are extremely talented, resilient problem solvers that have so much to offer. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at EasterSeals.com.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
Not Wiggins America, Ethan's America. Ethan's America.
Hi, Ethan.
Nothing motivates me less than hearing
Then Brian Wiggins.
that.
In general.
Really anything he makes for me.
How did it go yesterday?
What was yesterday?
I was gone.
Oh, yeah, that. Good. It went good. I mean,
You blocked
listen,
it out already?
There is honestly, there is a certain vibe to the show when Ryan Wiggins is hosting. I can't necessarily put a specific word to it.
You know what I was going to describe it?
It's a feeling of stupidity.
Oh, I was going to say that he is like a mystery airhead.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That's an excellent way.
That is a good way to put it.
What do you got for us today?
The two
By the
o'clock
way,
hour was
folks who are
fascinating.
listening, airhead is candy.
Right. Today we're going to be talking about some of the different characteristics of Gen Z.
That's you.
That is me.
Youngins, but youngins who are old enough to be out of college.
Yes.
Employable.
Starting to adult a little bit.
Married.
Slowly.
Having a kid or two.
Maybe.
A kid.
Yeah.
Not yet two.
Not yet two.
Unless it's twins.
Unless it's twins. Lots of different hypotheticals
We're almost
there,
out of
Annie
time.
Fry. Thank you.
Can
Appreciate
you give him an
that.
extra minute?
Yeah, so we'll go through a couple of these quickly. And I think the biggest thing that I took away from this is that some of the stereotypes you hear about Gen Z the numbers aren't necessarily backing up. Since right now, Gen Z is reaching a lot of life milestones.
Yeah.
I think you hear, independent, do my own thing more than ever. Well, there's been a 45% increase in Gen Zers that say that they are now married and a 23% rise in those with kids, plus 19% of Gen Z are now decision makers at work, up from 15% last year. So
You know what makes me super sad about this? I remember having these conversations on the air about millennials. And now it's like we're aged out of being the young people. Go on.
Sucker. They are pragmatic about work. Gen Z work-life balance are seeking jobs that align with their personal values and goals. 39% of Gen Z professionals say that they might look for a new job in the next 6 months compared to 28% of older generations. This one was sad. They are prone to anxiety. Mental health is still a big issue for my generation.
I blame social media.
You could argue there's a correlation because the numbers are high both for anxiety, but also one of the reasons later in this article is that a large majority are using social media.
Can I also say this about your generation? And I
Say
think
what you want.
millennials, I think the younger end of millennials probably qualify for this as well. But people of your age and your generation think, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, I think it's just true. You think about yourselves and everything about yourselves so much more than the generations before you. Because your image is out there. There's so much more.
That's a good point.
There's so much more inward spotlight. I mean, you go to the Boomer generation and the Gen X generation, and it's like nobody, like people be like, nobody cares about you. Really, no one cares about you, and you guys don't have that. Let's talk more about it in a little bit.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
I'm going to look right now and see what the weather's going to be like here today or going into the weekend because, you know, the second you get that little hint of chill, it's chilly weather in our home. And by chilly, I mean the chili with an I at the end. Jared makes great chili. And right now at Ruler Foods, you can save on everything you need to make chili. So stock up at Ruler Foods. You go to rulerfoods.com. You can schedule all of this for a delivery if you so choose. But you can stock up on Brooks chili beans, 99 cents. Kroger chili ready tomatoes, 95 cents. Add that flavor with Kroger chili seasoning mixes, 69 cents. Get hearty with 75% lean ground beef, 2¼ pounds, just $12. And add Kroger shredded cheese, which makes it delish, for $1.89. They've got everything you need, including the saltines or oyster crackers for $1.99, corn chips for $1.69 as well. And save on your mini sweet peppers, tomato juice, yellow onions, everything you need. You can get it at Ruler Foods for your fall chili, rulerfoods.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
He's not budging on the budget. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump standing by his decision to cancel a meeting with the top House and Senate Democrats days before a possible government shutdown.
This is all caused by the Democrats. They asked us to do something that's totally unreasonable. They never change. They want to give money away to illegally, people that entered our country illegally. They want to give them massive federal money.
He argues that'll drive more illegal immigration. Democrats blame the president for the stalemate and argue a health care crisis is coming because of Medicaid changes. A briefing expected soon in Texas on yesterday's deadly shooting at an immigration enforcement facility.
Law enforcement working the case of Wednesday's deadly shooting attack at the ICE field office in Dallas now say the deceased gunman, 29-year-old Joshua John, had recently downloaded a Homeland Security and Emergency Management document for Dallas County, Texas. That document contained a list of DHS facilities in and around the Dallas Metroplex.
Fox's Eben Brown, a handwritten note also recovered expressing hope the rooftop shooting would lead to real terror for ICE agents. After months of talks with China, President Trump expected to sign an executive order to keep TikTok operating in the U.S., giving a new American joint venture 120 days to finalize the deal with the current Chinese owner, ByteDance.
Once that is final, Oracle will then be able to wall off data from American users from the Chinese government. Now, Oracle will have the app source code, so any updates will come from the American company for American users. Senior White House officials tell me the algorithm will be leased from China. They say it will be retrained in America using only American data and then vetted before going to users in America.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence at the White House. Security concerns were the main driver of the new U.S. law requiring divestment for TikTok to avoid a U.S. ban. America's listening to Fox News.
Let's go.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We have some great September weather on the way. Temperatures will be a little bit above average, but not bad at all. Partly sunny skies on this afternoon. Nothing more than a spot shower. A light northwest breeze and 77 tonight. Clear skies, excellent. 58 Friday, sunny, delightful. 80 degrees, so mainly in the 70s. Saturday and Sunday, sunshine each day and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
This is, I think, the most exciting part of the announcement that got left out of a lot of the coverage is that the FDA announced we are going to approve a drug called leucovorin for the treatment of autism, and it may help 50 to 60% of kids with autism. What we have learned about autism in our research since we were charged with identifying a cause or the causes of autism is that one of the causes is that the receptor on the blood-brain barrier that allows folate to be transported into the brain is blocked by an antibody. In other words, autism may be an autoimmune disease for some kids, and you can test for that antibody. So the autoimmune reaction blocks the receptor of folate, starving the brain of this critical vitamin. And folate, the drug that we are going to approve, bypasses that blocked receptor. And studies have shown that up to 2/3 of kids with a folate deficiency will see an improvement in their autistic symptoms. That's exciting news.
That is exciting news. That's Dr. McCary speaking about what was this? It was called.
Out of the coverage is that the FDA announced we are going to approve a drug called leucovorin.
Leucovorin is the drug that he's talking about there. And, you know, we've heard a lot of discussion surrounding autism this week. And really what we all ended up taking away from that, because we're like the dog in the movie Up that just sees a squirrel and just runs towards the squirrel. It overcomes everything. President Trump gives a speech in the podium and he's talking about Tylenol, and he's doing it in a way. It's funny when you listen to Donald Trump give a speech or make an announcement or something like that, and it actually sounds, the way he says it sounds more like Shane Gillis delivering some sort of message than it would sound like if Donald Trump were actually doing it for himself. You're like, oh, well, that's a funny exaggeration of what Donald Trump would say, but this is actually Donald Trump.
Known as Tylenol during pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good. For this reason, they are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary.
So the president's saying that the major announcement earlier this week was that there was going to be a limitation and the recommendation of how much we actually will see pregnant women utilizing Tylenol. Now, in the midst of all of this hubbub, because of course everything is politics first, and the very first thing I said after this all happened was really chastising people on the right for being more pro-red team than what women should take for pain while they are pregnant. As somebody who's had 4 babies myself, I definitely feel like this is one we should leave to the experts, and far be it from me to know what pregnant women should and shouldn't be doing at any given time. Tylenol, there's a tweet that says, from Tylenol from 2017, we actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today. That's from Tylenol in 2017. So It's really important to get to the truth. It's really important to listen to medical providers, medical experts talk about this, because this is an issue that is far more important than politics. So we are going to speak now with Dr. Nicole Saphier. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you on with us, Doctor, today. Thank you for being with us. This is an important issue, a lot of politics injected. I'd like to remove all of those politics and get some expertise into the conversation.
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. It has definitely been a busy week. That press conference Monday night, it certainly shook me. And I'll be honest, on one hand, it was excellent. I loved hearing that autism remains at the forefront of conversation, trying to look beyond some of the existing theories as to what is potentially causing it. But I can tell you that while some of the messaging may have been correct during that press conference, the delivery was all wrong. And I mean, I don't know how you felt about it, but myself as a mother, but a woman, but also a physician watching it, it was really tough. And I kind of want to just break it down to the basics.
Please.
And then go from there. So acetaminophen, commonly known as Tylenol, paracetamol, but acetaminophen and a potential link to autism spectrum disorders, as well as ADHD, this is not a new conversation. In fact, it's been talked about and studied for a few decades. There are actually a good handful of what we call observational studies and some analysis studies that have said that there may be a correlation to women while pregnant taking acetaminophen and the baby being born with autism spectrum disorder or ADHD. Now, so when you see that correlation, you say, okay, so of the kids who were born with autism, more of the mothers took Tylenol. Now you have to look even further in that. Was it the Tylenol itself that caused autism, or was it whatever the mother was taking the Tylenol for, like a fever or the inflammation that's causing the pain? What is exactly that's causing, the child's development to be disrupted? And they haven't been able to prove causation. So I'm sure you've heard correlation doesn't mean causation. So there may be a correlation, but just because they have shown that more Tylenol use is linked to autism, they have not been able to prove causation, that it's the Tylenol itself that's caused it. At the press conference, they essentially talked about all of those correlative studies. But the big thing that needed to be mentioned was we still only have a correlation. We don't have that causation. There's been no new studies showing it's definitely the Tylenol that's causing this issue. But again, the message should be bringing to light women, Tylenol, there may be an association. There's good data showing there might be. So use it sparingly. The message should not have been what it was of toughen it out and don't take Tylenol, because my concern is you may have women who may be experiencing some new severe pain. And not that I want them to grab a bottle of Tylenol, but I certainly want them to call their doctor about it, because women in pregnancy, you have increased cardiac strain. You can have tumors that grow because of the hormones. You should always talk to your doctor if something changes. And by the way, high fevers are absolutely linked to autism in the babies. If the mother has high fevers, especially if she has more than one high fever, you can have anywhere from a 2 to 3 time risk of the baby being born with autism. So you certainly don't want to let those high fevers go unchecked. So the message can't be absolutely do anything to avoid Tylenol. It should be use it sparingly and only use it after talking to the doctor.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Dr. Nicole Saphier with us right now. I mentioned, I don't know if we had you on the line yet, but I've had 4 kids. Done the pregnancy thing a few times here. By the 4th, when I was about 38 years old, it was kind of, the same things. There were certain things that might have changed. I was 25 when I had my first one and 38, I think, when I had my Molly. And Tylenol was always the only pain reliever that was ever permitted. And it was always advised to me that it was what you did when you couldn't manage it any longer on your own. Now, I'm somebody who suffers from migraines. I suffer from migraines with aura. It causes a whole bunch of conflicts, for a whole bunch of OB/GYN issues that I have when it comes to birth control and everything. So it's complicated. So I was taking, if I got a hormonally induced migraine while I was pregnant, I couldn't withstand it. I would lose feeling in my body. I was in the emergency room one time. I went to the emergency room and I was in there for hours and they gave me Tylenol. That's the only thing that they gave me while I was in there. And it was the last resort. It was like I couldn't manage it any longer. And now it's this big political issue. I think the Trump administration, as you mentioned, did fumble the rollout. It would have been nice in this instance to have a woman be a part of that delivery, I think. But I want to know what you think about the actual issue at hand here, which is not necessarily women and Tylenol, but it's actually that the administration is looking into the rapidly increased rates of autism, which kind of feels like the secondary story here, and I wish it would be the primary story, that the administration is looking into these increased rates of autism. Do you feel like it's right for RFK Jr., for President Trump, all of the doctors that they have on staff to be asking questions about previously accepted medical thoughts on autism?
Absolutely. Listen, science is continuously evolving, and things that we felt were settled 20 years ago, 2 years ago, I mean, things change, and we develop new methods in research and evaluating data. So you should always be questioning. You should always be reevaluating. I think it's great that they are continuing this conversation. Unfortunately, talking about autism these days also very political, and it shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be, but unfortunately, President Trump, love him or hate him, he's a divisive figure in the sense that, people call it Trump derangement syndrome. If something comes out of the White House, they're going to be against it. And it's very unfortunately because the families of autistic children and autistic children themselves, they deserve so much more. And there has been a rise in people being diagnosed with autism. Part of that is the expanded diagnostic criteria. That is true. Yes, you are now diagnosing more people on a range of illnesses and severity under this broad umbrella of autism spectrum disorders, including like Asperger's and others. So that in itself, if you are just comparing prevalence numbers, that's going to absolutely contribute to the rise in prevalence. But it's hard to deny the fact that it does seem, looking around, that there are more children who have autism. And again, maybe we have more of a view into people's homes with social media and what people are sharing online, and words just getting around in this digital age. But it does seem like the rise in prevalence is also more than just from the expanded diagnostic criteria. And why is it? Well, the reality is it's not going to be one thing. It cannot be. We have so many studies right now, just like with acetaminophen, that there shows that there may be correlation to children being born with autism. Other medications, including antibiotics, some of the migraine medications, antipsychotic medications, all of this in pregnant women, fevers, infections, sleep apnea, microplastics, heavy metals, our pollution, the pesticides, all of these things have a correlated risk with babies being born with autism spectrum disorder. So it's going to be really difficult for us to roll back all of these toxic exposures. But ultimately, what it comes down to is the health of the mom. How healthy is the mom? What is the age? The older the parents are, not just the mom, but the mom and the dad, the older the parents are, the higher the risk of the child is born with autism. The more unhealthy the mom, if she's overweight, if she has diabetes, if she has sleep apnea, also higher risk. If she gets sick while she's pregnant, all of these things are linked to autism spectrum disorder. So it goes to the bigger talking points of how are we going to make America healthy again? And I know that's also politicized right now from Maha, but I'll tell you, I wrote the book in 2020, May 2020. My book, Make America Healthy Again, came out, and I talked all about the chronic illness epidemic and saying we have to get to the right place, and a lot of that is going to be eating better, moving our bodies better, and making smarter choices.
I encourage people to check out Dr. Nicole Saphier's book, Making America Healthy Again. She is a Fox News medical contributor. We're grateful to have you on with us, and I really want to wrap up this conversation with asking you for advice for us folks listening to this that are very interested in, I'm really sick and tired of the status quo in this country and the Make America Healthy Again movement. I pretty much have the conservative politics stuff. I'm really well versed in that. The Make America Healthy Again stuff, that's new to me. That's not something that I've researched in. And I think there are a lot of people who've been active in politics who are listening to the Maha people sitting down and saying, tell me more, and spending more time listening than talking. What do you want to encourage people when they're listening to an administration, which is often, goes immediately down the expressway to politics? the questions that are being asked right now, it seems like they're good questions. How do you encourage people to consume this information as it's coming out of the administration?
I mean, I cannot give you advice on how to consume a fire hose of information at once. I mean, that seems to be what's happening. I think a lot of what's happening in the administration and a lot of the stuff that they're looking at and working on and getting healthier foods to be available, especially in low-income areas, removing some of the food dyes and some of the other stuff that really we're just behind a lot of the other nations in, making sure some of these toxins are removed. These are all great things. I think, unfortunately, the administration is not communicating effectively to the American public. Just like I mentioned, President Trump can be divisive. RFK Jr. is equally divisive, and it doesn't mean that what he's doing is bad. Or actually, I really support a lot of what they're doing. I'm just not sure that RFK Jr. or even President Trump should be the ones who are communicating this to the American public, because I think it remains divisive. And in some instances, just like the press conference with acetaminophen, some of the messaging falls a little flat. And then we spend the next week trying to explain what it means. And it really just, fuels a firestorm in the political world. And I think we need to really try and get away from that right now, especially coming out of COVID. I was hoping for a lot more of a unifying tone, and we haven't gotten there yet.
There's still time. Dr. Saphier, thank you. My advice is for people to do a lot of listening and maybe a lot of reading, and maybe the Make America Healthy Again book written by Dr. Nicole Saphier is a great place for people to start, because I think we have a lot to learn. Most people tend to think they know everything, and boy, I know very little about all of this. So we're grateful for your insight and expertise here on our show today. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Hope you come back. Dr. Nicole Saphier, Fox News medical contributor, associate professor at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center and Weill Cornell Medical College. She is a very well-experienced, well-versed person in this, and I appreciate her take. I hope you did as well. I think that might be the first time we've had her on, unless we had her on during COVID, which is possible. She also has a book out. It came out in 2021, Panic Attack, Playing Politics with Science in the Fight Against COVID-19. Check that out as well. Let's take a break. We've got more Annie Frey Show around the corner. Hogan Gidley is going to join us in about 10 minutes from right now, so keep it right here. I'm going to ask him what his current mood is about the country. Somebody who's very plugged into all the goings-on in the background, but also in the foreground, is somebody who is an expert in communications. How does he feel about where we are right now in this country? Hogan Gidley at the bottom of the hour. We'll be right back in just a minute. Michael's Flooring Outlet is online at igotfloor.com. Shop for flooring at igotfloor.com. Whatever you're looking for, even if you're just starting the browsing process, you are noticing the flooring in your house, it just leaves a bit to be desired. And you know that it needs to be replaced. And boy, does it breathe new life. Fresh, clean lines of beautiful hardwood. Maybe it's the luxury vinyl plank that mimics the hardwood. Great technology behind that. It's the Techwood Plus line of flooring that you can shop and enjoy, that comes with the RevWood Plus line is specifically a wet protect waterproof wood. It's got GenuEdge and Esteem cleanable. You can trust this. You can invest in this and know that it's going to last. Michael's Flooring Outlet delivers over and over and over again for 97.1 FM Talk listeners, for Annie Frey Show listeners, for quality and value and great customer service. If you're interested in shopping in person, go visit them in St. Charles County, in West County, or in Darien Prairie, or you can begin your whole shopping process, including requesting an estimate, on the Michael's Flooring Outlet website at igotfloor.com.
Hurt in a motorcycle accident? You need someone who knows St. Louis, who's about St. Louis. You need Kaufman Townsley, your hometown injury lawyers. We're here for real people with real results. Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis Injury Lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. We call them the Doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice in St. Louis. So if you're looking for the best doctors for your best vision, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. I had an eye disease when I was younger. It left me with a silicone buckle around my right eye, so I put my trust in Ophthalmology Associates to take care of my annual checkups. Maybe you're experiencing dry eye, allergy eyes. They can help. They can help with cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgeries. And if you're looking for the best eye care, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Make an appointment today by calling 314-966-5000 or online at yourEyeDoc.com. They have a great office location just west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, the phone number, 314-966-5000. The website, yourEyeDoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. That's right, weight loss seminar at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Real quick here, I'm gonna talk more about Ethan about what we were discussing during Wiggins America. Ethan filling in for today through Monday for Ryan, because we have Hogan Gidley coming up at 1:30, and we're gonna talk to him about the poll. What is your current mood about the country? Our options are resolved, despair, hopeful, or unsettled. Reach out to us and tell us. You can vote, and then, of course, tell us why you voted. Vicky said hopeful and a little unsettled. I know it's complicated. We make you pick one. We get to do that. Ethan, we were talking in the 12:45 segment with you on Wiggins America about how your generation has a lot of anxiety. And, I've seen people. Do you know people in your real life who are suffering from climate anxiety? Does that even mean
anxiety.
That doesn't even mean anything to you? That makes me
No.
so happy.
Is that, I guess...
Climate change.
It's pretty okay, yeah.
Like the world is going to end, and they're freaking out about it.
I don't know anyone like that.
So that's something that, and you're 23?
25.
25?
As of a
just
couple weeks
recently.
ago.
Okay. I'm doing the opposite to you that I do to Ryan. It's kind of funny. I see these things from people on the internet. And to me, it's like, because I don't know anybody, I'm not 100% sure that it's true, but that the existence of the panic that is over climate change and the ice caps melting and the flooding going to happen and the ozone layer is going to go, I don't know what all the things are. I'm not in that camp. But that kids or youth or young adults are so concerned about this that they're panicking that they're basically going to watch the world end. You've not heard that?
No.
Oh, God bless you.
I'm so glad that I haven't. My goodness.
Have you seen that, Brad? Have you seen people talking about that?
I have seen people talking
Didn't
about that.
Kamala Harris's stepdaughter post something about that specifically?
Yeah. I can't think of her name now, but yeah, she definitely did that. I haven't seen anybody in my personal orbit that has been talking about it, but yeah, definitely seen videos of. They're usually a little bit younger than you, Ethan, but your age down to probably 15, 16 years old, and they're like, if we don't get this sorted out, the Earth's going to burn up and we're all going to die.
What? Even if I was concerned about that, even if that was a genuine concern for me, what am I going to... What is me posting on my Instagram story about it going to do?
Or doom scrolling through a bunch of
What
people
is it
going to
do? All it's going to do is stress me out or even me seeing that is probably gonna be like, oh brother, geez, they're on to that. Like it's so unnecessary. Like what percentage of people are going to actually do something about it?
If you really believe, though, if you really bought into it, if you believed it, if you spent all of your time as a young kid in your bedroom scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or wherever these people go to scroll, and you saw it over and over and over again, wouldn't it make you nervous?
Oh, totally. I tell you this much. If I had TikTok, I bet it would probably seriously affect like just my overall general mood and how I perceive things, because there's so much crap on there and there are so many extreme views put up. I think the large majority of, some of it leaked over to Twitter, right? Some of the stuff following the Charlie Kirk assassination. It seems like most of that was coming from TikTok.
Yeah.
Most of the extreme stuff was coming from there, and that's where my generation tends to hang out. I'm so glad I'm not on TikTok. It's a social media issue in general.
Libs of TikTok really took the TikTok world and served it up to the Twitter world to be like, look at what they're doing over here. And for a long time, it was unbelievable. You watch something from Libs of TikTok and you go, is this real? Can this is all performative, right? Can this possibly be real? And it's very real.
You just keep on scrolling, that's all you see? Yeah, that's going to have an effect on someone.
Poor kids. Quick break, Hogan Gidley and how he feels. What's his current mood about the country? Next. RetirementKey.com. That's the website you can go to right now and really kind of skip what I'm saying. But don't skip what I'm saying. Listen to me. Because October 2nd, it's a Thursday, we've got the last of the year Protecting Your Retirement educational event coming up. It starts at 6:30 p.m. I'll get there at 6. And I would love the opportunity to meet each of you who come to this free event and listen to how Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw can help you protect your retirement. Are you nearing retirement? Have you already retired? Are you wondering if your 401k and your IRA are going to last through your lifetime? You need to come to this event, and it's free. That's a smart economic decision, isn't it? He'll take about 45 minutes total of your time. You'll be out of there before 7:30. There are free snacks. That's always a plus, right? You need to reserve your spot. Bring a friend. Bring friends. 314-993-9494. And just sit down and listen to what they have to say. Mark Cox, Mark Reardon, and I will all be there, and we would love to say hello to you. That would be a true honor for me. But you need to reserve your spot. 314-993-9494. Come find out if you have not scheduled it yet, your own personalized structured income plan set up. This is the opportunity to start that process, give you the peace of mind that you've been looking for. RetirementKey.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. And your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer in the country, Generator Supercenter. We learned the hard way here in St. Louis during the tornado recently that power can be knocked out. But even outside of that, what if the power grid fails and it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis? You don't want to be that person. Get with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis today. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Tell them that we sent you along.
This is your chance to win a free basic handgun skills class from the Range St. Louis West. Mark Cox here. 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin is where the range sits, and you got to go. This is ideal for beginners, expert instruction. They have it available in a women-only class if you're more comfortable. Normally the class is $135. You can win right now. TheRangeSTL.com/971. Again, TheRangeSTL.com/971.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to RetirementKey.com.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis, and they get paid weekly. Available to eligible Medicaid members in St. Louis. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want to receive great care from a loved one, go to freedomcare.com or for faster service, call 314-597-1749. 314-597-1749. That's 314-597-1749.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. What is your current mood about the country? Is it resolved, despair, hopeful, or unsettled? Jump on Andy's YouTube page, vote in the poll, leave us a comment in the chat telling us why you voted the way you voted and why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and we might read that on the air. The time is 1:32. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We've got to stop demonizing each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, I think most of that right now in our country's history is coming, from the right, coming from people who want to dominate. They want their point of view. Writing out slavery from history, that doesn't make it go away. We have got to stop with the finger pointing and the scapegoating.
Does she hear herself? I mean, can this woman possibly pause for a second and start with her? She should be with her. She wants to stop demonizing people and stop pointing fingers. She bookends that comment by pointing fingers. Good grief, these people. They're insufferable. I don't know if Hogan Gidley agrees, but we're going to ask him. America First Policy Institute Senior Advisor for Communications, also the former National Press Secretary for the Trump campaign. Hogan, welcome back to the show. Thanks for the time today.
Hey, Annie, I really appreciate it, as always.
We appreciate you very much. We're asking our audience today, we ask a poll question every day, and we're asking about what their current mood is about the country. It's a heavy lift right now to be paying attention to everything going on in the news, politically. I wanted to ask you, what is your current mood about the country?
That is a very interesting question, Annie, because I think it is very layered, and I don't think it is any one position. I think it kind of ebbs and flows. Some days I do feel very uplifted. I do feel excited about the future with all the successes of this administration. At the other times, I feel horrified at what we saw with the murdering, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and then on top of that, leftist Democrats pushing and creating kind of a permission structure for all types of horrible behavior with their radical views, ridiculous name calling. So I kind of go back and forth when I think about where we are in totality and how I'm feeling about it. As always, I'm an optimist. Like Charlie, I'm evangelical. So I do believe in a higher power, and I do believe that all these things work together for good for those who love the Lord. And that gives me somewhat of a base of consistency in love and also understanding that this time we have on this earth is not the end all be all or the last time we're going to be of sound mind and spirit.
Yeah, that's very well said. We're speaking with Hogan Gidley right now. I think, I'm wrestling with this because I do this for 3 hours every day, and I'm supposed to put on an entertaining show. And what I hear a lot of people saying and what I feel in my heart is that it's easy, and it seems like it's de-escalating to come out and say, well, if both sides would tone it down a little bit. But I'm failing to see where the conservative America First, MAGA, whatever people want to quantify the right as right now, I'm failing to see where the right side of the aisle is committing such an atrocious amount of violence, where if it were to happen, the people within the party wouldn't immediately shun that person and call it out. Where on the other side of the aisle, it's happening almost on a daily basis, Hogan, and there are people who are making excuses for it.
Well, it's not a feeling; it's a reality. That's what we're seeing with the radicalization of the left. As I said, the permission structure, setting it up to not just demonize, but to physically assault those. I mean, the way they deride and what they say about ICE agents, for example, that they're the Gestapo, they're Hitler, they're Nazis, they're rounding up people illegally, which is not true. These are rules and laws that Congress passed. They're just enforcing those laws. But, of course, they don't want to take responsibility for that, the members of Congress. So they try to blame other people and demonize those who would dare enforce the laws they passed. What they say about politicians on the right, what they say about political figures like Charlie Kirk, spiritual figures like Charlie Kirk, is that they too are Nazi. They too are Hitler. Well, I mean, what do you do with Hitler? If Hitler's responsible for killing 6 million Jews, is it okay just to let him have a good bully pulpit or a good forum for open debate? No, of course not. You're creating a permission structure to enact and exact violence on other people. And then when it happens, it's always we don't condone political violence, but they brought it on themselves by what they said. I mean, it's just so insane and egregious. It's sad, but it's also extremely infuriating because even amongst this time of tribulation as we all experience it, the left is more concerned and more outraged by someone who lost their show for a few days as opposed to someone in Charlie Kirk who lost his life.
Yeah.
It shows you just a complete disconnect and the stunning lack of self-awareness with a heaping on top of self-righteousness just proves how ridiculous the other side of the political aisle has become, and how far they've fallen.
Yeah. Hogan Gidley is speaking with us right now. It's like it's hard to think about how we could come to more peaceable solutions when we have alternate realities that we live in. A question I have for you, especially in the wake of the death of Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, you've been in politics for a long time. You've been a spokesperson at the highest of high levels in this country and in our political system. But I'm curious if you think this is it's probably both, but are we fighting a political battle here? Is this a cultural battle? Is it one more than the other? How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's political, it's cultural, and it's also spiritual. When you remove God from culture decays, it rots. I think we've seen that. When politics is centered around disagreement, that's the essence of the foundation of this country. That's fine. But when one side says the other side is the root of all evil, that we're the cause of the world's problems, and that America herself is also right in line with that, telling you this country is so awful, how do you have a common cause around which to rally? Because it used to be we would disagree, but at the very end of the day, we're all Americans. We all love the country. They don't love the country. They hate her. They want to destroy her. They want to build a new, communist, socialist, in their mind, utopia until they get it, and then they realize how horrible it is. So it's a political battle for sure. It's a cultural battle, and it's one that we were beginning to win because of people like Charlie Kirk. As Andrew Breitbart once said, it's politics is downstream of culture. Culture began to push things into a certain direction, and finally it went so far with men and women's sports and other things that our side said, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're going to expose this. It's lack of common sense. It's a lack of morality. It's a lack of decency. And it doesn't it hurts, with hundreds and hundreds of medals and scholarships going to people who claim to be a different sex just to try and game the system, just because they have some type of problem, that isn't solvable with pretending you're another sex. These are the types of arguments that fall into all of those categories, and they're all problematic. And thanks to Charlie Kirk, thanks to President Trump, thanks to many on the right, we're fighting them in a way that the left never saw coming and didn't think would resonate with a majority of the American people. And absolutely it does. And one last thing I'll say, the left continuing to demonize people like you and me when more than half of the country agree with us.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We're not niche and we're not fringe. We're the core of America. A majority of the people out there do agree. And so for them to pretend as though it's just so small, it's just a tiny slice, MAGA is just so minuscule, it isn't. It's a massive movement that is going forward and will go forward for generations to come, thanks to Charlie and thanks to the President of the United States.
Hogan Gidley, one last question for you, and I think that this is an important one. It's certainly one that I'm reflecting, and I don't know if you're experiencing this in your personal life, but I've experienced it on many occasions since Charlie Kirk was brutally assassinated. I have people coming up to me saying that was, not to overuse the phrase, a turning point for them, where maybe they were kind of in the middle, maybe they were apolitical, they just think everything politics is gross and they haven't participated, but there was something jolted in them where maybe if they had more liberal beliefs in certain issues, they realized that there was a definitive line that they needed to choose for themselves. I'm on this side or I'm that side. When you're talking about they hate America, I think there's a huge distinction to be made right now in the American people right now who have been sitting on the sidelines in the midst of one of the most wildly political decades, certainly of my life. There are a lot of people out there who are looking at the America First message, certainly that your institute puts out there, but the Trump administration, the MAGA movement has put out, and they're looking at it for the first time going, this isn't as hateful as I thought it was. What do you say to the people listening right now, not the activists out there, the everyday people having these everyday conversations with people who might be curious for the first time?
Yeah, you so right on the money, and in large part this occurs because people just lap up what the media or other people tell them as opposed to listening for themselves. I was paying attention to a Megyn Kelly podcast the other day, and I go on her show sometimes, and she was saying the amount of black men who had DM'd her or comments she's seen online where they said, we went on to say, we hate Charlie Kirk, and then we started watching his videos, and we're like, wait a minute, this all makes sense. I think I'm a conservative. You know, it's all of the kind of laziness that many Americans have where they don't find out for themselves what's real, what's not, go listen to the whole quote in its entirety. And it's pushed by leaders. I was on a show just the other day with a congressman from South Carolina who was pointing out Charlie Kirk said that he was lesser because he was black. And I said, no, he never said that. In fact, it was the exact opposite. And we got to an affirmative action debate. And I said, but Charlie was pointing out the fact that it's inherently racist to say that rules or any type of criteria to get a job or criteria to get in school have to be lowered because you're black. That is racist in and of itself. His point of view is what I share, and I'm sure you do too, that whoever has the ability or the merit to get into any position should get into it. Of course, regardless of their race, religion, color, or creed, but it's those types of lies that travel around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on, as the famous saying goes. And the more of this that we just allow others to try and tell us without our own time taken to get in there and see what truth is, it's going to be a problem. Because when someone tells you, can you believe, this person said this or this person said that, if you go, oh my gosh, and you just take it as gospel without going to check it out, it's going to foster some hatred that's unwarranted and unmerited. So, time and time again, we've seen the left smear us. Time and time again, we've seen the left lie. But it was someone like Charlie Kirk who was so effective at going into college campuses where the youth are still asking questions and the youth want to find out more information. They're sponges for data and statistics. He would give that to them, and he would do it in a kind way. Did he get heated sometimes? Of course. Mean-spirited. And that's the legacy he leaves behind. And there will be thousands upon thousands of Charlie Kirks that rise up after this. They won't be the same, but there'll be versions of him that can carry forth that torch to have a conversation, to educate, to push for the freedom of speech that this country is founded upon and fight for those freedoms to remain for generations. That's what this is about. And so I don't mean to ramble here, Annie, but it is so infuriating when we get lied about time and time again, only to find out, how many lies about Donald Trump were told, from Russia collusion to the Hunter Biden laptop to the good people on both sides hoax. The literal next sentence he said was, I'm not talking about neo-Nazis. They should be condemned totally, completely. The next sentence. It's such an easy thing to debunk, but the media hate him so much they don't care. And if they don't care, that's bad enough. But if they know and they're lying about it, then that's just evil. And I think it's a combination of both. So the more we can get out there the information that's truth, the more we can share that with people, I think the better off we'll be.
It's so telling, Hogan, that the left politically does not come at Donald Trump from any angle that is rooted in truth, because they've got nothing. The American people have proven that in the last election. And the most bitterest part of the bittersweet moment that we're in right now at the loss of Charlie Kirk, how many people are going to hear the whole message straight from Charlie Kirk's mouth today that never would have?
That's a great point. They will go on and hear, because I want to hear this guy. I want to hear how horrible it is. And they'll go listen to him, and they'll go, wait a minute. That's not what I was told.
Yep.
Not even close.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I think it's part of God's plan for sure, but it is a tragic way to go through the suffering that is necessary.
Well, real quickly, and I have to say this, and I say this pretty much everything I've been on since the death, because he is a Christian and because of what he believed, the comfort we can take is he's with his Lord right now. And his wife, Erica, said this on stage too, that he was in the arms of his Lord instantaneously. And so we can take some solace, some comfort in the fact that he's in a much better place with no pain, no fear. And that's a good place to be.
Thanks be to God. Certainly. Hogan, we always appreciate you. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Annie.
Take care. Bye-bye. Hogan Gidley is the America First Policy Institute's Senior Advisor for Communication, former National Press Secretary for the Trump campaign, and former Principal Deputy Press Secretary for the Trump administration, at J. Hogan Gidley on X. Let us know what you think about your mood about the country right now. I think at 2 o'clock, I'm going to take one segment of phone calls and let you call in and tell us how you feel about the mood. Not yet. Don't call yet. I still got the phones blocked. But I'm going to tell you the number right now. You can write it down, and then we'll open the phones as soon as we wrap up this hour. The number is 314-241-9797. Not opening the phones yet, so they're going to be busy right now. We'll open them and take your phone calls at 2 o'clock. And we'll ask you that question on the air. You can tell us, what is your current mood about the country? If you listen to Hogan, yes, obviously, there are layers to how we feel right now. On the YouTube live chat poll, our options are resolved, despair, hopeful, or unsettled. If you'd like to give a nuanced response to that, maybe you want to give us a call. Hold the phones right now, 314-241-9797. We'll put your phone calls on the air in the first segment at the 2 o'clock hour. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Where they play the right music, getting in the swing, you come to look for a king.
The Lutheran Elementary School Association is probably the solution you've been looking for. Now, I'm talking to grandparents. I'm talking to parents. I'm talking to anybody who is trying to find an alternative to the public education system that you're currently in, or maybe you just want something different. Maybe the public school system that your kid is in is really a great school, but maybe it's just not right for your kiddo. So what do? How do you start this process? Maybe you want to change at semester. There are so many Lutheran schools around the bi-state region, 34 elementary schools. Some towns even have more than one school. And if you look at one, maybe it's not for you. Maybe the next one is presented in an entirely different way, and maybe that is what is for you. That's why you got to start your research on the website at lisastl.org. It's Lisa with an E, Lutheran Elementary School Association. That's Lisa, lisastl.org, and learn about some of the 34 elementary schools in the bi-state region, the 4 high schools in the bi-state region. They offer special education in most of the schools. Tuition assistance is available. They support IEPs and special needs. This is a solution for you. It's within your reach. And parents and grandparents alike, if you'd like to make this possible for your child or for your grandchild, I can't think of a better investment in your child than putting them in a Lutheran school that is going to care for their spiritual education as well as their academic education in a top-notch way. Learn more at lisastl.org.
Bold, unapologetic, unfiltered. The Mark Cox Morning Show is covering the issues that matter to you. From borders to school boards, Mark Cox is St. Louis conservative.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer, then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to settlements and verdicts to see for yourself what your case may be worth before you hire a law firm. Do your homework. Fact check. It's easy and too important not to. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They're in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
What did you just say to me?
I said I don't like a lot of country, but I can roll with some Alabama.
I love country, and I'm going to get raked over the coals for this. I can't stand Alabama.
Especially as a St. Louisan, because this song has a special connection to St. Louis, because our beloved Uncle Charlie had this as his walk-up song for years when he was...
A hitter?
A hitter, yes.
When they let him hit.
Uncle Charlie being Adam Wainwright, of course.
And then when he came back and he hit in his final game, this song played.
Love it.
Are you getting teary-eyed?
No, not at all.
Oh.
Absolutely not at all. Good try, though.
You don't play this game the way Ryan Wiggins does.
Yeah, I would have been.
He would have sobbed.
He would have been
right there, on command. Speaking of moods, what is your current mood about the country? Resolved, despair, hopeful, or unsettled? I was talking to, we had 150, 200 people at this memorial vigil for Charlie Kirk yesterday at the Madison County Courthouse. If you want to be aware of more things that are happening, that was with Turning Point USA, SIUE, a brand new Facebook page. They're growing. They're working on expanding. I would love to flood the Turning Point USA SIUE chapter with Facebook likes and follows. So please go there and follow them. They're just getting started. They just put together a Facebook page really to promote this event. And I told them I would send people their way. So get on Facebook right now and go follow them and see what they do next. How do you feel right now? What's your mood, Ethan, about the country?
You know, I appreciate the question. I don't appreciate the answers because you're forcing me to pick one. That's what it's because it's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to, because part of me has some hope. There is part of me that is unsettled. I think you could make.
Does it change by the day?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I would argue that 2 weeks ago I was feeling pretty unsettled about our country. But I would argue right now I'm much more hopeful than I was 2 weeks ago as to what we've seen a lot of the response.
Because of the reaction to Charlie Kirk's death.
Yes.
That was a really hard day.
It was a terrible couple days.
You said to me that affected you. You had a little bit of like kind of almost like post adrenaline, like if you're in a car, almost in a car crash, but you escape it, that there's like a kind of an after effect where you had to sit and think about it afterwards. Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, that rocked me. You know, I think for a lot of people here, especially for you three, Ryan being the third. You guys were in work mode. Mark Reardon was in work mode. He was getting ready for a show. To a certain extent, I was just kind of sitting around taking in this news, and I would actually argue I had a harder time just not sitting in it because it was just right there in front of me, and it was just kind of that in between, like, what do I do right now? I had a really, really, really hard time, like, trying to get through that work day with Mark. I was the executive producer. Fred was gone that day. That was a super hard day.
It was a really hard day. It's been hard afterwards too.
Yeah, totally.
And it's not any more especially hard for us necessarily, although we don't get to turn it off. So I'm in a constant state of reflection of, like, how much do you as a listener, do you tune in to hear what's the latest with the Charlie Kirk situation? Or are you wanting a breath from it? It's because this is a heavy thing. This is bigger than a traditional news story. This is going to have lasting power in the news cycle. Hopeful?
Hopeful. I think that is the primary one, I would say, yes.
That's what you'd pick?
Hopeful. Yes.
Like to hear it. Go vote. Tell us what you think on the Andy Fry YouTube channel. We're going to take your phone calls on it next. I'm unblocking the phones right now, and you can hold. We'll take them at the top. 314-241-9797.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
RulerFoods.com has the savings you need to make your grocery bill a little bit more affordable, and who doesn't need that these days? I certainly do in my family. So if you're trying to fill up your cart and you're trying to afford that cart and not keep things out of the cart because it's just gosh darn expensive right now, even on the basics like eggs, you can save at Ruler Foods right now. Kroger Grade A, large eggs, just $1.99. Stock up on eggs when you shop at Ruler Foods. You can also save on fresh, delicious produce. We can never have enough berries in the Fry family house. Strawberries, raspberries, or blackberries, $1.99 each. Kroger pork butt roasts, $1.49 a pound. Save on the groceries that you need to feed yourself, to feed your family, to feed your loved ones, and do it at Ruler Foods. You can find a Ruler Foods located close to you by going to rulerfoods.com. You throw your zip code in on the website, and you can see the one that's most closely, conveniently located for you. You can also schedule all of these savings to be delivered directly to your door. All the information you need to save on your groceries is available at rulerfoods.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Investigators in Dallas say that is clear from the writings of the shooter who killed himself after opening fire on a Dallas immigration enforcement facility yesterday, killing a detainee. A federal prosecutor says the 29-year-old called ICE employees people showing up to collect a dirty paycheck and had hoped to terrorize them. FBI special agent in charge, Joseph Rothrock, says significant planning went into the attack.
We know that he obtained the firearm in August. We also know that he was looking at a number of DHS facilities and he had downloaded that information. He was looking at the apps, as my counterpart mentioned, to see where ICE agents would be. So this was not something that just occurred yesterday. It came to a conclusion yesterday, but this is something months in the making.
One ICE official at the briefing appealing for hateful and violent rhetoric about agents to end. President Trump earlier today again condemning what he calls left-wing rhetoric. His comments coming during a White House meeting with Turkey's leader, where he also signaled new hope for a ceasefire in Gaza.
Following a large meeting with Arab and Muslim leaders earlier this week, President Trump says he thinks negotiators are close to a ceasefire deal.
We had a really great meeting. I think a lot was determined at that meeting, and I have to meet with Israel, and I have to do that also. They know what I want.
The president is sharing a 21-point plan that reportedly includes the release of remaining hostages in Gaza, a permanent ceasefire, and a Gaza security and governing framework that does not include Hamas. President Trump is also assuring Arab leaders that he won't allow Israel to annex the West Bank.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. On the war in Ukraine, President Trump is pressing Turkey's leader to stop buying Russian oil, echoing the broader message he's been sending to Europe about how Russia funds its war. America is listening to Fox News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We have some great September weather on the way. Temperatures will be a little bit above average, but not bad at all. Partly sunny skies on this afternoon. Nothing more than a spot shower. A light northwest breeze and 77 tonight. Clear skies, excellent. 58 Friday, sunny, delightful. 80 degrees, so mainly in the 70s. Saturday and Sunday, sunshine each day and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to get ready for cold weather and schedule your heating system check. Get not just your heating system, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the Preferred Partner Plan. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's Thursday. We've got Annie, Are You Okay? Coming up in about 25 minutes from right now. Tricia's going to come join us in studio, so stay tuned for that. Always love to have Tricia in here. We're asking you right now this particular question. It's our poll question for today on the YouTube channel. It's in the live chat of today's YouTube live broadcast. We're also encouraging you to call in. And you can call us at 314-241-9797. Terry and Margot are on hold, but we've got some open lines right now if you'd like to weigh in and tell us what your current mood about the country is. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. The mood that we have, options that we have listed today, yes, there are more than 4 moods that you could currently have. Resolved, despair, hopeful, or unsettled, and I'm just going to peek at the results right now, and 2 of the options here are kind of neck and neck. So let's find out what you folks think. 314-241-9797. We'll start with Terry. Terry, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What is your current mood about the country right now?
Yeah. Hi, guys. I was right there with Ethan. I was looking at all of them, and I thought, well, kind of hopeful, because Trump is doing way more than the last administration did. But then the unsettled kept coming in for me, and that's what I chose in the poll. And it's a lot of the reasons are because I've been trying, even before Charlie, which, by the way, I was exercising and listening to the show the day that you came in and said something about what had happened. And all day and the next day, my eyes were filling with tears. I could hardly focus on anything else. But anyway, I've been like you. I heard you, Annie, talking about SIU days. And was always, I wonder if we had the same speech comm professor, but I'm 70, so I doubt it.
I don't know. Maybe. That's some professor.
Anyway, I've always been one of those to ask a lot of questions and want answers and ask why. I mean, people in the classes were always like, oh, there goes Terry again. She's got another question and she wants to talk about this. But I've been doing that since in my whole life and trying to talk on Facebook with people I knew from high school. I mean, you're talking a long time ago, and I thought I knew these people, and I'm seeing just such anger and such negative stuff coming out. And I'm trying to have a civil conversation with them and even telling them that. And today, with the gal I knew from SIU, you know, I think a lot of it, Annie, is that people are angry and upset about so many things, even in their personal life, that they don't even realize that that's what's taking over. I know people that lost a child that keep telling me about, what about all the school shootings? And I want to have a discussion, but I can see I've gone back and forth, and I even sent a heart emoji to this gal. I knew her daughter was killed in a car accident, but I gave her some, I thought, emotional support, and I was trying not to be ugly or angry, and I don't think I was.
Yeah.
But she still kept coming back at me with these things about Charlie Kirk. And,
Terry, you got to keep speaking up, and we got to figure out, we got to participate in the battles we can win. And I think, or that might be able to be winnable. It sounds like you're doing that and you're speaking up. So I have that unsettled feeling right there with you, Terry. So keep it up, keep the hopeful part and lean in on that. Thanks for calling the show today.
Hey, thank you, Annie. Love your show.
Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Let's get to Margot. Margot, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. How do you feel right now, your current mood about the country?
My current mood is hopeful. I think Trump is doing an amazing job. And also, Charlie Kirk, I am thrilled that St. Charles Community College has just started a Turning Point USA chapter. And I think that's fabulous that something local is happening.
I agree. Margot, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate that. You know, I want to give, it sounds like Margot's already probably doing this, but if you are an alum of one of these local colleges, we have so many great places of education around this bi-state region. We've talked a lot about being an SIUE grad. Find out what they're doing. Find out if they have a chapter. And if they do, find out if you can support it. If you've got $20 to spare or whatever it is that you can lend to these chapters that are probably starting to get going right now, find them. Contact them. Ask them how you can be helpful. Be a part of this for these young people who are stepping in the unfillable hole that Charlie Kirk's death has left behind. And so many young people are looking at this right now saying, what can I do? We need to say, what can we do to help them as well? Let's get to Greg. Greg, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. How is your current mood right now regarding the country?
My mood is positive. I've got a 14-week pregnant wife with a child on the way, and we couldn't be more excited that the things that are being done with the Trump administration are so outstanding and so long needed. It's surprising the different things that are coming up. They're the changes that we needed to make the country work. It's not even about partisanship. It's about like reality. And I don't know if anybody's taken a look at the debt clock, but I used to laugh at that because it was going so fast you could never read it. And I actually pulled it up the other day, and it's slow. You can actually tell that we've made some massive changes with all the tariffs and everything like that. So I'm hopeful for our country. And honestly, the Charlie Kirk thing, that's such a tragedy. But let's be honest. The love of Jesus Christ in this United States is what needs to come out for all of us to come together and be the country that we were supposed to be.
Amen, Greg. And congratulations on expecting. That's really wonderful. Thanks for sharing that with us today.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Let's get to Terry number 2. Terry, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your current mood about the country.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, Annie. Because, with Charlie Kirk, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, I just, look back to what Jesus said before he ascended into heaven, that he must leave so that the Holy Spirit could come, and also, that the Spirit spread of the ministry, his gospel would just not be concentrated, right there where they were at the time. And when, Jesus left, the gospel spread all over the world. And I'm just so optimistic, reference the thousands of chapters that have come about, because Charlie Kirk is, no longer with us. Yeah. And I just wanted to shout out to you, Annie. A few years ago, I got to take a picture with you at the St. Clair County Golf Course there at Tamarack.
Oh, well, thank you, Terry. I enjoy that golf scramble and helping the St. Clair County Republicans. Thank you for supporting them. And thanks for supporting the show, Terry. We appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Annie. God bless.
God bless you as well. I find it interesting. You ask a question like, what's your current mood about the country? Two of the options I have are despair and unsettled. And I'm asking you to call in and talk on this show about how you feel. And a lot of you are talking about Jesus. And I can't help but point to Charlie Kirk and the life he lived and the tragic death that we experienced and witnessed in Charlie Kirk, and how it continuously, even if I'm not the one leading it there, is pointing us all to the same place, and that's to Jesus. Let's get to Dean's phone call here. Dean, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. How do you feel? What's your current mood about the country?
Well, I feel hopeful for it. I was watching that assassination that happened, and then after that, I was really shocked. I was actually numb, but I said, there goes, from what I understood, a family that's going to be, torn by a death. There was two little kids. I'm a father, and I thought, well, I need to send a condolence. So I sent a text message on Messenger to Erica Kirk and let her know that Charlie really loved her, and that things would be okay, and that if there was anything that any of us can do, please feel free to ask us to. And that's the thing. We have to be available for other people when things like this happen, and someone's going to have to be available for those two kids. I raised two on my own, and I feel hopeful for the country, because it made a lot of people become aware of God and Jesus, and a lot of people went to church the first time, and decided to do something positive in their life. And I think it's going to change our country a lot. A lot of those young people are now doing the right things and learning how to do the right things.
Dean, thank you for calling the show, and for spreading that message of hope. That I think it sounds like most of you folks have that bit of hope involved in how you're feeling right now. Maybe it's not 100% hopeful, like, yay, rah, this is just going great, everything's wonderful. I understand it's more complicated than that, but I appreciate that. And I can't, this to me is more so in my brain about children who've lost their father, a wife at such a young age in their 30s who's lost a husband. Like, the politics of it, that is what it is, but you can't replace that person in that life, and it's a hard thing to stomach. One last call before we take a break here. Timothy, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your current mood about the country, how are you feeling?
Hello?
Yep, Timothy, we're on to you.
Oh, there you go. I didn't hear my name. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Well, I said resolve simply because I see where we're headed. I see good things happening. I realize some people are hopeful. Well, I'm hopeful, except that I'm actually maybe more hopeful than they are. I see that many of the people that have voted Democrat before are realizing that isn't where we want to go with this country. I consider myself a Teddy Roosevelt progressive.
Mm-hmm.
That means that our government is supposed to be facilitating what is good for the citizens, and it isn't. I mean, the Democratic Party isn't pushing what's good for the citizens. They're pushing what's good for themselves. So I'm voting Republican as a protest against where the Democratic Party has been going. We have to be able to spend our money wisely, which is a basis of the conservative side. But I also think that we as a country can help the people that need to be helped. but not with the current structure, because let's face it, that Democratic Party's led us into, well, things that were not good for the citizens, but certainly good for the Democratic leadership, and we have to fight against that. And what I don't like is that if you say that, even though I would consider myself somewhat of a progressive, well, then I'm shunned. I'm pushed out. So, okay, well, shun me, hate me. I'm going to go vote Republican because I don't want my money being spent on stupid crap.
Man, Timothy, if it's with your permission, can we use that as the slogan for the 2026 midterms? That's.
Sure.
I think we just landed on it. Yeah, square deal, if you will.
Yeah,
Timothy,
absolutely.
Thank you for calling the show. Thanks for giving us a chance to be a part of your afternoon. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you too.
I don't want the government to spend my money on stupid crap. Bingo. I think we got it. A Teddy Roosevelt, Democrat, progressive. That's interesting. I love the Annie Fry Show listeners. I love them. I love each and every one of you. Got to meet quite a few of them last night at the Charlie Kirk vigil that was held at the Madison County Courthouse in Edwardsville. Thank you to everybody who came out to that. That was a Turning Point USA SIUE event. I was happy to put the word out and help make sure that people knew that it was happening. I'm going to encourage you specifically to find the SIUE Turning Point Facebook page, which is brand new, and go follow it and see what they do next. They're just starting up. They're brand new, but you got to find this at your alma mater or wherever you're sending your kids to. Like, go connect to these local colleges, universities, high schools can do this as well. Go connect to them and see what they're doing and show up. When the first event that the SIUE group held, which was it was the Sunday after he got shot. Did he get shot on a Wednesday? Was it a Wednesday?
Yes.
They threw together a really quick vigil on Sunday afternoon, and they had about 30 people show up, students showing up, a few people. I threw it out there on our Facebook page, but like within less than 2 hours of when the event was actually happening. And I said to him afterwards, like, if you have the time and inclination, put together another one and let me promote this for you. I introduced myself to them. These kids don't listen to the radio. I would like them to listen to the radio, but they're young, but they're so wide-eyed and hungry and motivated. The spirit of this movement is there with them. And we need to, us radio listeners and talkers, need to embrace them and what they're doing and help them be successful. Because when you put on an event, they were happy with 30 people. And I was like, you can get more people. There are more people who want to support you. And we had almost 200 people, maybe even more, I don't know, at this vigil last night. And they had the officers there and I don't even know how many people were actually in the group. Like I said, they're just getting official and all that stuff. TV cameras showed up. There were reporters there. I think some print reporters. I'm radio. I had to explain that that's the dial in your car. No, I'm kidding. But a lot of you showed up. We can show up. That's the least we can do, isn't it? You can follow these groups on Facebook. Yes, go follow the Turning Point USA SIUE group. They're brand new. Go follow them. But look at these other universities and colleges and community colleges and high schools around us that might have these groups. Go support them. If we can light a fire, if we can be a part of what they're doing, the energy that they have, think about what we could do next. Ethan Sports and Local next. Don't go away. Home Shield Foundation Repair is definitely there to help solve the cracks in your concrete, home, place of business, work, whatever. But they're also there to help waterproof your basement. There's nothing more stressful, and I can speak from experience in a home that we used to own. As soon as you see rain is in the forecast, you just get that pit in your stomach, and you're like, oh my gosh, please don't be a disaster. So you monitor it, you're worried about it, you have anxiety about it, and all you need is a forecast to make you start to get panicky. Well, maybe you should get rid of that panic. Maybe you should have the experts take care of it. And the Home Shield Foundation Repair folks, Matt Hayes, they're the experts. They're the people you can trust to come look at your situation and find out what exactly you need to do. Nothing more, nothing less. But to make sure that the problem is handled based on the results of their inspection, they give you a customized waterproofing plan that addresses your home's unique challenges. Every basement is not the same. Yours is certainly not the same as the last basement they do or the next basement they'll do. They'll assess your needs and help you fix those. You want to make sure that you call them and have them come out and give it a look and get to the bottom of this, and eventually that forecast pit in your stomach that you have will go away. 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Hey fans, Chip Carey and Chris Kerber here. FanDuel Sports Network's your home for the Cardinals and the Blues. Thanks for watching the Cardinals all summer long.
Now Blues hockey is coming up. The Blues open October 9th, and there are more ways to watch this season.
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream Cardinals and Blues games. You can also stream on Prime Video by adding a FanDuel Sports Network subscription.
Or watch through a TV provider, including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
Learn more at FanDuelSportsNetwork.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Before I met my lawyer, I felt hopeless. I felt soon to be homeless. And after I met my lawyer, I got that hope back. I was like, yes, we can do this, gave me the energy to go. I just want people to know that there's always help out there. Go out there and look for it and go get it.
Visit MissouriLawyersHelp.org to learn more. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Brought to you by the Missouri Bar.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out. Sports and local.
Hold up. Check it out. It's Ethan.
Is that what your wife says?
Yes. Every time I walk.
Every time you walk in the room. It's part of your vows.
Hold up.
She's
Check it
a
out.
base.
I had mentioned this a couple of days ago, and Annie, you had felt like there was some passion in your voice when discussing it, but we didn't really get to dive into it too much. And then yesterday, I said I want to save it because I wanted to give you the chance to talk about it. But a few days ago, U.S. Steel reversed course and said that it will continue processing raw steel at its Granite City Works plant, which would nix a decision that had put the plant on track to stop works in the upcoming weeks.
I don't know how anybody in Granite City could vote against Donald Trump. The lifeblood of that area is that steel mill, and there are businesses that, as the furnaces have gone cold, that businesses around the area just, like, people don't go get lunch, people don't go get gas, people don't get their hair cut around there. Like, it just slowly disintegrates because there aren't people there anymore. And for the Trump administration to block this was a very specific decision, and I'm really glad to see that happened.
U.S. Steel did not explain its reasons for changing course. Now, barely 3 months after, is it Nippon? Nippon Steel sealed a deal with President Donald Trump to buy the iconic American steelmaker by giving the government a say over decisions that affect domestic steel production.
Yep.
There was a brief statement by a U.S. Steel spokesperson saying said it will continue to supply the raw steel slabs to Granite City indefinitely.
Yes. That's good news. Very
good news. Good news for the area, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you just stated a couple of reasons as to why that's going to be good for the area. In other news, switching to the sports side, it's a sad day in St. Louis. It was inevitable. We knew it was coming.
It was inevitable.
But it is here.
It is inevitable.
The Cardinals have been officially eliminated from postseason contention.
How many people found out this week that the Cardinals still had a chance? What? Ethan, Mr. Host of the Lose Sports Podcast, raises his hand.
No, that's not true. I knew that they were technically still not eliminated. Here's the funny part. I'll say this real quick. Adam Wainwright, probably 2 months ago, the Cardinals were in the middle of a hot streak.
Man, you're on an Adam Wainwright high today.
You're right, I am. That's
I'm ready.
The second time.
I'm always on an Adam Wainwright high.
Love Uncle Charlie.
Yes.
A couple of months ago, he randomly threw out on Twitter that he said was predicting that during the Cardinals-Cubs series that is set to get started this weekend, which will be the final regular season series of the year for the Cardinals, that the Cardinals would be fighting for postseason contention, that series would end up mattering. And I tell you what, throughout these last couple of months, I don't think a lot of people would have said that would have would have ended up being that close to true. And we were one game away from that being the case. The Cardinals would have won last night. They would still be alive. Now, it would have taken a miracle. They would have had to win their final three. The Mets would have had to lose their final three. A couple of teams would have had to lose 2 out of 3. But there technically was still a chance.
What's the phrase? So you're saying there's a chance. And the answer
exactly
today
what it
is?
Yep.
No.
No.
Not anymore.
The answer is no. Confirming the answer is no.
I'm going to be super annoyed for you sports types. I'm looking at you, Ethan.
You are looking at me pretty deep right now, too.
Don't next year, when the season is ramping up, right before spring training and after, be like, don't forget they were in it right there at the end of September. I'm gonna find every single one of you and punch you in the face.
I'm gonna gaslight.
Give you a.
I'm gonna gaslight
Muay Thai elbow.
The living daylights out of this show and the listeners of this show.
I'm gonna get some silly string.
That's how you're gonna stop me?
It's probably
Silly
the only
string?
legal way I can. But I don't want to hear that, because at like I just highlighted, how many of us were just reminded, wait, what? They could still be in the playoffs?
Teams under 500. They're under 500. That tells you everything you need to know.
Here's a real question for you. If they would have made the playoffs, would the stadium have filled for the game?
Oh, yes. I 100% think it would have.
I don't think they would.
I don't think it would have either.
I don't think people would want to pay to see them lose.
I think that people...
We'll never know.
You're right. I think my argument would have been, I think people out of respect for getting there at that point, for putting it together.
No.
Annie, for the last month, no one thought that they were going to make it. If
Nobody
they
knew that they were still in it.
Exactly. So if they somehow would have squeezed in, I think people would have been like, oh, yeah, kudos to them. They found a way.
Ethan, I think that if they would have squeezed in, it would have pissed people off more, because they'd be like, oh, now they're not going to think they have to do anything. Ergo, my comment, I'm looking at you, Ethan. Do not get into February and be like, Annie, they were in it in the last week of September. Because I'm going to say,
time. A new era begins.
Yes, maybe. But let's look forward. Don't make excuses for backward.
I'm not. I'm not at all.
I am taking this out on you unfairly. I'm sorry.
There's the silly string. I'm going to silly string you.
Will you get me some?
No. Get myself some.
Oh, wait a second here. Tricia, Annie, are you okay next? Infinite Vitality, infinite-vitality.com is the website. Please call them and get your life back. You've been thinking about it and you've hesitated because you're like, oh, Annie, I don't know. Stop it. Stop it. Go. Give them a call, 618-486-1888. Talk to them about the concerns that you have and realize the breadth of things that they can do to help you get your hands back firmly on the steering wheel and take charge of your life. Your weight. You know that you've got 15, 25 pounds maybe that you've gained now that you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and you'd really like to get rid of it. But gosh, I guess this is what being 50 and 60 is like. No, it doesn't have to be. Infinite Vitality can help you lose that weight. They can help you get your energy back. They can measure your hormone balance and see if maybe everything's fine there. Maybe it's not. How would you know? Other than the fact that you're sluggish, you've got brain fog, you can't fall asleep at night, you're tired when it's time to get up, your sex drive is down. You just have all of these things that are plaguing you, and it's just weight after weight after weight, some of it physical, burdening you down and keeping you from being your normal, happy self. You still have that normal self in you, and it's on the other end of a phone call to Infinite Vitality. 618-486-1888, 618-486-1888. Mention Annie and save $50 on multiple services, infinite-vitality.com.
Hi, this is Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst, certified financial planner, and the host of the Jill on Money podcast. This is the show where your money is not scary. It's a show that's all about you. It's your questions that make it possible for me to provide unconventional and entertaining insights on your money, and more importantly, on your life. Listen and follow Jill on Money on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Today's YouTube live chat poll: what is your current mood about the country? Resolved, despair, hopeful, or unsettled? We will be giving the results to the YouTube live chat poll here in just about 20 minutes or so be sure to go and vote on the Annie Fry Show YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to hear those results, like I said, in about 20 minutes. Annie, Are You Okay? Is coming up next. The time is 2:35. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
FM.com. From Troy, Missouri to Troy, Illinois. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Hi, Tricia.
Hi, Annie and crew.
I don't really know how to do this segment without Ryan.
Yeah, I just have to try my best to take on the personality of, how do I say this politely? An idiot.
Oh, Ethan, come on.
He's not an idiot.
Listen, the lights are on me, really. It's Tricia's segment, but this is where Ryan has his time to shine and just say whatever the heck he wants.
That's what he thinks. That is his perception.
So you're telling me I don't have to do that?
No.
Okay.
I actually
All right.
tell Ryan every week that he also does not have to do that.
I'm going to kick my feet up here and just enjoy and listen to the content.
All right.
What do you got?
Children watch on in shock as man in Chuck E. Cheese costume arrested over credit card theft.
Oh, my gosh. Now, you have to be more specific about Chuck E. Cheese costume.
Hey, he was the mouse. A
Not Chucky.
41-year-old man was arrested while
mouse?
dressed as Chuck E. Cheese as the Chuck E. Cheese mascot in Tallahassee, Florida. Authorities say officers were sent to the restaurant location regarding a stolen credit card that had been fraudulently used. When they arrived, the suspect was standing...
Chuck E. Cheese is a mouse?
Have you never seen the commercials?
It's a freaking scary-looking mouse.
Yeah, he's
Could be a
terrifying.
kid.
No, because it's Showbiz Pizza to me, Ethan. You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
Nope, got
God
nothing.
dang it.
When they arrived, the suspect was standing outside of the Chuck E. Cheese in normal clothes. He then entered the facility, they being the police. He then entered the facility, put on the suit before coming back out, where he was confronted and subsequently arrested.
So just to be clear, is the Chuck E. Cheese part of this is just it's not affiliated with Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Well, it sounds like somebody had a birthday party there. He swiped their credit card. They traced it back to him, these fraudulent charges.
So he was actually being a paid Chuck E. Cheese?
He was a paid Chuck E. Cheese.
Ruh-roh, George.
Yes.
That's not good. That's not a good look.
When the police showed up...
Neither is Chuck E. Cheese. Just on the whole is not a good look.
Well, that actually is my question, Annie. Are you okay with Chuck E. Cheese?
The
mouse.
character?
Yes.
Okay, let's get the... I'm Googling
Not the
things.
establishment. It's fine.
We're
but
just...
we're
gonna...
character.
I don't know. I'm trying to not say things that could get me sued here. Let's see. I don't know who Chuck E. Cheese actually is.
Isn't that the case with all mascots? I had a side conversation today with somebody about mascots in general, and you really don't know what's going on under there.
I am looking up Showbiz Pizza here.
That's horrifying.
Do you see this?
That's so scary.
That's what we grew up with. Does that explain our generation? Does it? Does it make you understand why nothing makes us anxious anymore?
Horrifying.
We're numb.
I forgot about
Please,
the cheerleader.
take it away. I don't want to look at it.
Look at this guy.
It's terrible.
Which guy? They're all horrifying.
That's Billy Bob Broccoli, apparently.
Terrifying.
There's nothing abnormal.
Man.
I mean, Chuck E. Cheese. It's hard for me to say that I'm not okay with Chuck E. Cheese the mouse because what I grew up with was devastating. Look at how happy these people are lying.
I was going to say that Chuck E. Cheese, the mascot, is the reason why, people have phobias of mascots because of just how creepy it is.
Until you saw
and
that.
then you pulled up Showbiz Pizza mascots.
Yes.
Dude.
And I am experiencing
Here
an
we go.
entirely new level of scarred right now.
Do
I
you-
mean, this is horrifying.
The guy that was is that an ape, a gorilla?
Gorilla, yeah.
In the middle that was the keyboard player. That thing scared the ever loving sugar out of me. I mean, to sit there, and the thing is that the band wouldn't play at Showbiz Pizza the whole time. It would and they would go down and the curtains would close and then the curtains would go up and it would be like, and then they'd be like bebopping. What kind of music did they play? This says Showbiz Pizza plays 1980 to 1992. I don't know what kind of music they played, but this stuff is really scary and it's a small restaurant. You were close to these things and it is frightening.
Has there been a horror movie made around these things
Five
yet?
Nights at Freddy's.
Yes,
That's around this?
That was a video game. Yeah, it was based around this kind of idea concept. Freddy's was a pizza place, and they had the animatronic
I didn't know
things.
that.
I didn't know it was a
Here
pizza
he
place.
is. Look at this. Fats Geronimo. Are you kidding me? That's
That is
his name?
horrifying.
Rockafire? Look at that thing. Look at the face on this gorilla?
That looks like something that you would meet in hell.
Why can't I? I think it might still be. I'm gonna.
That's true.
We need to key in on this. This is terrifying. I don't think that the. I don't think that we need mascots in restaurants talking to kids.
That's Geronimo.
Yeah.
That.
Are you trying to get your kids to eat or never eat again?
What I think parents were trying to do is be like, let's fine. We'll do Showbiz Pizza. We'll do it once. We'll sit real close to the stage. We'll never have to do it again. Look at this thing. It's gonna eat the child that's sitting right there right now. It's going in. It's hungry.
I don't even know how to describe that to the people that aren't.
Can you
able to see this.
imagine being the crew cleaning up Showbiz Pizza at night with those things hanging out, just kind of staring at you?
Can you imagine being like last one? You turn off the lights and you're walking out and you turn around and all of a sudden there's one
that they would screw with each other.
One of them's not in its spot. Like, oh god.
I don't think it's good, Tricia. I have not taken I don't want my kids. Don't. If you tell my kids that what's it called now, Chuck E. Cheese exists, you're gonna have to take them.
Nope,
it's on you.
Nope. All right. Meta's new glasses let you live in your own reality.
Don't we already?
New smart glasses from Meta are going.
Are
on
they called
sale
Your Truth?
At the end of this month. I actually don't know what they're called, but they're the second collaboration between Ray-Ban and Meta, and the glasses will go on sale for $799. They include an EMG wristband that translates signals created by your muscle activity into commands for your glasses.
Is this like becoming Iron Man?
The company says with a quick glance at the in-lens display, you can check messages, preview photos, see translations.
Do you just see them out in front of you like while you're living?
I guess so. Yeah, like kind of in your peripheral, maybe.
Have you ever driven a car that has a heads-up display in the screen of your miles per hour?
Yes.
No. It reflects it. It comes out of the dash and reflects it up so that while you're looking out at the road, it'll just say like 45.
Have you?
Yes. A long time ago. Drove it to Florida to go to spring training in 2004.
Was it
That was
distracting?
a thing in 2004?
Oh, yeah.
It was on one of the girls' car. Four of us girls went to Jupiter for spring break, and it was her car. We took her car, and I'd never experienced that before. And when I was driving it, it took me a long time to get used to it. And then after I got used to it, I got back in my car and I forgot to look at the thermometer, the speedometer. I didn't look at the thermometer either. It's difficult. So I guess it would be like that.
Yes. Just on your glasses all
People
the time.
are going to be running into things with their eyes open now. Instead of their heads down at their phone, they're going to be walking places down the street.
That's where the headline comes in, letting you live in your own reality, because you're basically just like your eyes are just in their own world.
Imagine going into someone's office right here and they're doing their computing through their glasses and they're just sitting in their like that looks like this catatonic
Is that
stare.
the future? I mean, are you okay with smart glasses is my question.
I'm not okay with it. I really like tech. I like tech for increased productivity, but I don't look at it so that I can do less. I look at it so I can do more. And I don't know that I really need that, but maybe I do. I don't know. It's all creepy, but I feel like when the internet, do you remember the internet being created?
I mean, I remember using early internet and thinking, oh, it's cool that I can chat with friends.
But you don't really know, like, your childhood has pretty much always had some form of maybe archaic internet in it.
I was probably 11 when it really, so a lot of it, no.
Did you guys have to do like the dial-up stuff?
Yes, everybody did.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that was like your guys'
I was on dial-up through
time growing up?
We were
was it
born in
before?
high school.
We were born in the 1900s, Ethan.
So, yeah, we're 20th
horrifying.
century people. We had internet in our house for the first time when I was about that age. So, did it take a long time for you to get it?
I remember going to the Gateway store to get our first computer when I was...
Is that in a cow box?
Yes, in the cow box, and how cool that was. But I was not... I mean, I was old enough to remember it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact year.
We got it. We had internet in our house in, I think, maybe 1996, and I would have been in sixth grade then. And that was when we first got the internet. But like, it was so new, there was not really anything there for you. You just like signed on, and then you stared at your computer and waited for someone to send you an email. It was like, "Hi, hey, look at this," and it was just the email is what you were looking at, not like a meme. Memes didn't exist.
We had one of those big old box computers growing up, and all I remember about it is there was a Finding Nemo game on there that I would play, and that is genuinely the only memory that I have of that old box computer.
Anybody play King's Quest? Message me if you did. Man, I don't know. I would love to play King's Quest. Like, you couldn't get past like the 3rd level or something of King's Quest, but it was this old game. Somebody out there's played it.
Email me if you did, because I'll just stare at my email and wait
Yeah,
for it
I'd
to
be
come through.
amazed. I think that, I could see myself having some of these glasses, but I'd almost be like, I'm a little bit latecomer to ChatGPT, but I'm obsessed with it now. So, and ChatGPT is not. I know people are like, Annie, use Grok. Well, Grok is pretty dumb, so I'm not ready to use Grok for things that matter.
Airline passenger uses massive bra as suitcase to avoid luggage fees.
What? Airline passenger uses massive. Does she like stuff things in her bra?
A viral hack involving stuffing a bra with clothes to avoid baggage fees on budget airlines sustained attention. A woman shared her experience of using this trick on a Wizz Air, which is a Hungarian-based airline, to sneak in extra Wizz Air, W-I-Z-Z Air, to sneak in extra items without being caught. While the hack worked, she admits it was uncomfortable due to the added heat from the padding.
You don't say.
Annie, are you okay with checking luggage?
By any means necessary, no.
What does that mean?
Checking your luggage.
Oh, I thought you said chucking.
I know. I know. As it came out, I'm like, I hope she understood me.
That's one of the reasons why not. I watched as those
they chuck.
I watched them throw our. Probably, we didn't have like a super fancy one, but like a $250 double stroller. Like, they threw it like 10 feet. First of all, how do you throw it that far? Second of all, what the hell are you doing with my stroller? Like, they do not care about the luggage. So when we came back from Hawaii, my zipper was broken on my luggage, and it came out the chute about 75% unzipped. My luggage. I don't trust it. You can't avoid it. Sometimes, like, you're going to Hawaii, you're gonna probably check some luggage, but other than that, I have a refined system down for a personal item and a carry-on item, and it is efficient.
Everybody in the Fry family is wearing massive bras.
Yeah, and
Charlie, what are you doing?
Charlie's like, Mom, don't make me do this. I'm like, you'll do it and you'll like it. Okay, Mom. Sorry, Charlie, you're gonna probably hear about that one. For the record, I've never made Charlie do that. I'm not even going to give you the justice. I'm not even going to do justice to giving him the quote.
You want one more?
Yeah, you could just take us home. I don't care.
Very mean squirrel seeking food has sent at least 2 people to the ER in a California city. Residents of a San Francisco Bay Area city are on the lookout for an aggressive squirrel that has sent at least 2 people to the emergency room for medical treatment. One woman said that she was walking in a neighborhood when a squirrel seemingly came out of nowhere and attacked her leg, clawing and biting.
I wonder if there's like a limit on nuts that they can steal. Like, as long as you only steal 4 nuts in California, you're okay.
Another woman said she was attacked while walking in the same area. In this case, the squirrel launched itself from the ground onto her face and wound up on her arm, leaving it bloody. Now flyers have been posted warning residents that the squirrel is no joke and that
just shoot the squirrel.
More than 5 people have been attacked by a, quote, very mean squirrel that comes out of nowhere. Annie, are you okay with squirrels?
Yep.
You cool with them? I have to say no. My dog hates them. So.
Squirrel. Yeah, I don't have a problem with squirrels. I think it's funny to go to places that don't have as many squirrels. Like, we have so many squirrels.
So many squirrels.
Yeah. And if you got it, my dogs don't bark at squirrels as much as somebody has a cat. I wish somebody would keep their cat, but that cat keeps just strolling in front of my house, and it's just until the cat's out of sight, and then they just go lay down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they don't do that for squirrels. I don't have a problem with squirrels.
You ever seen anybody try to like feed and water squirrels?
No.
Yeah, my neighbor.
Mm-hmm. That's why this is happening, by the way, in California. They say that this happens when you try to feed squirrels. They get real aggressive. But we've got somebody that thought it was a good idea to water squirrels in our town, so they put little squirrel water bowls all over parks.
That's what happens.
Do these people have jobs?
It's a whole thing on the
I
Citizens
think we buried the
page.
lead on Ethan's angle on this story here a little bit. All right, let's get the results of today's YouTube poll next. Don't go away.
I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you did, as long as you love me.
TheDiamondShop.net. They're in Clayton, but they're also online at TheDiamondShop.net. September is a great time to shop in-store at The Diamond Shop and save on in-stock jewelry. Everything in stock, 30% off all in-stock jewelry. 40%, you get to save a little bit more on in-stock sapphire jewelry right now through the end of September. If you've been thinking about making a purchase for Christmas today, we are 3 months away from Christmas. Is that shocking? Shocking, not shocking. We're almost there. A lot of people are beginning their Christmas shopping right now. They have 6 months same as cash financing for purchases that you're going to make at the Diamond Shop. So maybe go find yourself at the Diamond Shop this weekend in Clayton. Start the shopping process. Browse a little bit. You don't have to be under pressure, of course, when you do it. And save that 30% off everything in stock jewelry right now. It's a great opportunity to get a head start on something special for someone special this holiday season that is coming up. They are online. You can go to the website, become a VIP. You always get a little extra something as a VIP at the Diamond Shop. Just find them at thediamondshop.net.
Sunday, the Chiefs are back on 97.1 FM Talk. Tune in for the game at 3:25 with pregame coverage starting at 2. 97.1 FM Talk this Sunday with the Chiefs. Game time 3:25.
Have you been notified that your subsidy for Obamacare health insurance is going away? Well, you can leave now while you're still healthy and qualify for much better individual plans. Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com has been helping people get affordable health insurance with great coverage for over 35 years. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to GregHammonds.com. That's GregHammonds.com. He can custom design a plan by you, not the government.
When it comes to roofing, you can't go wrong with Corel Roofing. Mark Cox here. My friend Curtis Corel came out, looked at my roof, worked with my insurance adjuster. I got a new roof, new gutters, and even new screens on some of my windows. Curtis specializes in working with insurance companies. Even if you've been denied, he's often able to work with these insurance adjusters to find a way to get it covered. Here's something else Curtis tells me. With cooler weather coming, you need to be aware of something. Roofs cannot be installed if the temperature dips below 45 degrees. Some companies go ahead and do this anyway, but you're going to have problems down the road. So if you're concerned that your roof won't make it through the winter, call Curtis Corel today. Corel Roofing has crews with over 20 years of experience. They pay attention to detail, and they can work with all the luxury line roofing as well. Call Curtis at 314-222-9529. That's 222-9529. Or on Facebook at Corel Roofing Co.
Annie Fry is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Your current mood about the country, Brad, resolved, despair, hopeful, or unsettled?
I'm hopeful. I get it. I would say I could say 3 of these 4 here. Unsettled, resolved, and hopeful. But ultimately, it's hopeful. I'm a Patrick Bet-David guy. The future looks bright.
Ethan, you already responded to this and said on the whole, hopeful?
Yeah, I think that the country, specifically I think there's things prior to everything that happened with Charlie Kirk that would have made me say hopeful as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm even more so hopeful now. Specifically, I think it's restored a little bit of my hope in the overall good of humanity. I think
Is it just the reaction that's caused that?
In large part, yeah. I think that's what it's been.
I had somebody today. Since it's kind of politically oriented, I'm not going to say where I was specifically, but it's a place that I go regularly. and they told me they like know who I am because I'm a customer there, and they told me like, you know what? A couple weeks ago, they'd known that I had a radio show for a long time. They go, a couple weeks ago, I decided to actually look you up, and she's like, you have a really good show. And I was so nice of her to say that. And I was like, well, I appreciate that. I said, I don't really talk about it with people that are just, regularly in my life because it's a divisive thing. And she goes, I think everything changed on that a couple weeks ago. And it was like a completely non-politically based conversation that I normally would have. This has permeated what is normal. Give us the results, Ethan. What do we got?
284 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. What is your current mood about the country? 6% say despair, 7% say resolved, 36% say unsettled, and 51% say hopeful.
All right. I'll take it. A majority are hopeful. That is positive. That is positive to hear. Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative. Next.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
So at Air Comfort Service, my friend Corey has been to my house many times. My friend he has serviced our house and made it very much so. The comfort zone is on lock with Corey and Air Comfort Service. They do really great things. They work hard to make sure that you are taken care of. They've worked hard to make sure I'm taken care of. But it goes beyond that. Corey and his team at Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation are providing kids in foster care with underwear and socks to help start this school year fresh, and you can help them. Here's what you got to do. You're going to call and ask them to take care of that AC or HVAC concern that you have. And you're going to ask them about their undies. And I swear they're asking me to tell you this. When you call to ask about any sort of service like that and you ask them about their undies, they're going to donate a new pair of underwear or socks to kids in foster care through the Foster Together organization. Call them at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Online at aircomfortservice.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car.